Jennifer, I'm on a pharmaceutical roller coaster.
Is that what we're calling it these days?
I have been sick for like a week and a half, and it's nothing but Robitussin PM in the PM and then Robitussin DM in the AM, which doesn't make any sense. So it's just like I'm just riding the Tussin wave these days. It's just
See, that's where my opportunism comes in.
Yeah.
I hijacked your halls to get you to invite me back to the podcast. See, that's how you do it, folks. If you want to get on the Rage Select podcast, you just have to hijack either the Rage Select Facebook page
Right.
or the halls.
Yes.
And hold them for ransom. And that's how you do it.
You've commandeered the healing halls of medicine. And
I do.
Without that mentholyptus, I'm ruined.
If you give good opinions, I'll slowly give them to you one by one during the course of this
candy.
podcast.
Okay, yeah, no, I got that. Well, hey, welcome everybody to the Rage Select podcast. I am Jeff.
I am Mayhem's Muse.
And it's going to be, I think it's going to be an odd week this week. It's a really weird batch of news, and I don't know. Usually, it seems like every week that we do the Rage Select podcast, I'm always looking for something to put in the thumbnail trailer, right? Like some trailer came out. This week, there isn't jack shit.
I noticed.
Everybody's all upset about...
It's the same roller coaster. You're going on the health roller coaster.
Yes.
We're going on the news delays
It's just nothing.
roller coaster. It's weird.
There's nothing.
Weird.
I mean, last week everybody was pissed off about Captain America,
I wasn't pissed off about it, but I mean, whatever.
I've already screamed and yelled for about 20 minutes with Matt Frank on a podcast about you remember that they took Dr. Octopus's brain and put it in Spider-Man for like a year and a half?
Yep, that happened.
And now Spider-Man is like regular. You remember when Spider-Man was a clone? Peter Parker is a clone, and the original Peter Parker has actually been like, I don't know, wandering the earth like Kane from Kung Fu for years.
Sadly, I remember this.
Yeah, and that they like retconned it so that the Spider-Man you've been reading the entire time has been a clone, and they just fuck.
Surprise!
There is no shortage of fucking up comic books in really hardcore ways. Do you remember when there was not that this is fucking it up, but like Ben Grimm got turned into a regular guy and there was a lady thing.
That's
like
right.
This giant lady thing with like a one piece on. I mean, I cannot count the number of stupid things. I mean, back when I was reading comic books, I can't count the number of times that Professor Xavier's legs got fixed and then broken again and then fixed and then broken again and then fixed and then broken again.
I'm just like, can we please just fix oracles for a while? But wait, that's a whole other...
Did they?
That's a whole other story. They tried to come up with that. It's a whole thing. Don't even get me started.
Okay. All I'm saying, people who are super upset about Captain America, is this is comic books, and I don't know if you're new to this, but every so often comic books lose their fucking mind. There was like a year and a half when Superman was blue electricity man.
Oh, yeah.
He had short hair and electricity powers. He wasn't regular Superman, and then he just turns back into Superman, you know?
It's like just when you think you're safe and you're comfortable and you're grooving on your storyline.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Yeah.
We're going to flip it on its head.
Yeah, every year, once a year, comic books decide that they've run out of ideas, and so, Lex Luthor is president now, or hey, Norman Osborn is the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. now, or pick one. They're all dumb, and that's fine because comic books have been going on for 50 years, and so. Normally, I'm of the mind that if you can't think of a new comic book story to write, like you should probably just find a new writer. But I can understand, like if you've been writing comic books for 25 years and you're just like, fuck, man, I am out of ideas. I don't know. What if Superman was a llama?
I think I figured out how they do it.
All right.
I think they've been watching too much bank track roller derby.
Okay.
And they instituted a penalty wheel. Mm-hmm. So anytime they have writer's block or they are bored or whatever,
It just says, let's go to the wheel.
Yeah, let's go to the wheel. We've got a bunch of different random shit. All right, who's becoming a girl? Who's a boy today?
Right.
Okay. Who's going to have amnesia?
Right.
Who loses a limb? Who gains a limb?
Lose powers, gain powers, turn into animal.
Changes sexuality.
Right.
Changes gender. We've got it all on this ginormous Marvel
Arch-villains
wheel
are now
of craziness.
heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you're bored and you can't come up with it on your own.
Yeah.
Spin the wheel. Spin to ween, man.
Yes.
You just do it.
The other thing that I have is I haven't read comic books in 20 years or
Blasphemy.
10 years, I guess, or 5, 15.
You're missing out on some good local stuff.
I'm sure. It's just that, I feel like when you don't make a crap load of money, when your money is limited, you can really only have one horrifically time and money consuming hobby, right?
I have no idea what you mean.
You can have all the comic books in the world, or you can buy like $450 worth of video games every month, and that's, you can really only have one or the other. You can't really have
the
both.
struggle is real, folks. That's why we have Patreon.
These are serious problems.
Fuel our crazy habits, please, so that we can rage about them to you,
yes,
our lovely audience.
Yes. I was like, this is the very epitome of dumb rage select first world problems.
Tell me.
Last week, Metal Gear Solid 5, which I already own on the PlayStation 4, was on sale on Steam for $27.99, and it was the end of the month. We were coming on Patreon. I was literally scraping the bottom of my bank account. I'm like, I don't have $30 to spend on this, but I really want the PC version of Metal Gear because there are mods where they put Ocelot's model onto Quiet prancing around, and then it's just the greatest thing that you've ever seen in the history of mankind. Have you not seen these videos?
I haven't, but I need to now.
Yeah, there's a little
missing out.
We'll look at it during the break. There's a little part of Metal Gear Solid 5 where the girl character Quiet is like all crushing on Big Boss, and they come back and it's been raining, and so she starts kind of just frolicking and jumping in puddles and like throwing water on him, and they're just like ha 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 ha. And there's a mod where somebody on the PC put Ocelot's character model frolicking and jumping in the puddles.
I need that in my life a little bit. I can see your problem.
It's amazing.
The struggle is real. Oh, the struggle is also real. I just got lipstick on the microphone.
That's all right. Along with, there's pretty much everything on there, so, that's
great.
That is the secret of the ooze.
Do I need to get tested now?
Maybe.
This is weird.
Every so often somebody says their face touched the mic, and I'm just like, oh, no, don't do that. Don't
do that. It's like, oh, I have this horrific story. Oh, God. This horrific thing happened to me at the mall last week. I don't mall.
Did the bone come out of the skin, or
almost?
Was it? Okay, all right,
almost.
Okay.
So I never maul. I don't do that. But a very great musician friend of mine, whose wedding I coordinated, fellow flute player, we get together every 3 to 6 months or so and just have like a little girl time and hang out and dish and whatnot. Yeah. We went to the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay,
amazing place. I love cheesecake. Great stuff. Great cocktails. Good stuff. So we go to the mall. We're walking around. We're looking at high heels, as you do. They go to leave, and I'm walking. I'm on a mission looking for a pair of high-waisted jeans. It's a thing I can't find.
Mom jeans?
No. Like fitted, just a high waist. I have a really long hip line. It's the weirdest thing. I can't ever find anything in my size. It's crazy.
All right.
So I'm walking by, and some guy's like, miss. And I make the mistake, I should have known better, of pausing. And the next thing I know, there's a flyer shoved into my hand for a makeup company. And I'm like, okay, this is never a good thing. This is not going to end well. But he's like, I have a sample for you. And I'm like, okay. Intrigued. I mean, if it's a bad sample, I can just toss it when I get home. Whatever, fine. So I walk over to his little shtick. He's got one of those little kiosks in the center of the mall. Not even like in a store. It's in the center. It's one of those little carts. And he's
where they sell like cell phone cases and remote controls.
And the curlers or straighteners that you'll never use because they'll burn your hair.
Deprivation tank that you can get in for a while.
Exactly that.
I'll never do it.
No, don't do it.
I'll never do it.
So I walk over to the kiosk, and the guy's already looking for some stuff. And he's got like a blank counter, no towel, no nothing, and a set of used foundation brushes.
Yeah.
So Makeup 101, you don't ever cross-contaminate, ever.
Okay.
If you're doing makeup for yourself, that's fine. You can just use your brushes once or twice before washing them. That's fine, because it's only your crap on your face you got to worry about. But when you're putting makeup on more than one face, especially faces you don't know, you don't ever...
Especially mall faces.
Random faces. You don't know if they've washed ever.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
You don't know what's on your hands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's craziness.
They might have rubbed a range
this used brush up.
Microphone.
This almost, like, it's just, that's where this comes in. So he takes this used brush off the dirty counter, and he puts it in this box of powder that's almost empty because it's been used so much. And then he grabs my hand without asking for permission to touch me and puts this shit on my hand. And I'm like, okay, this is all, it's like glitter, basically. Mm-hmm. It's just basically glitter. And you don't use that on a film set because it's reflective. And so the light, it just,
Sure.
Just no.
Yeah.
So I try to say that, and he goes, oh no, this stuff is great. He puts the brush back in the used powder and then proceeds to put it on my face.
What?
Without asking me for permission to touch me. He's now touched me twice with a used brush and used powder without asking for permission.
Haven't you been ninja training? Didn't you just like spin kick him, do a roundhouse, or like a...
I've never had that occur to me. I've never had this happen to me before, ever. I was just so flabbergasted. I had no words.
Well, generally speaking, we live in a society where touching somebody else's face without permission is frowned upon.
Already a no-no.
Yeah, I mean,
but in makeup, that's like makeup 101. You
Sure.
don't cross-contaminate.
I just the thing is that
you don't touch people without their permission.
I wasn't there, so I just have this mental image of like this like kind of filthy hobo with like a paintbrush and just like an Amazon box that's just got silver glitter in it. He's just like, no, it's great. Hold on, I'm gonna make you look like $1 million. You're just like painting the fence. And
he was just, and he did not. He spoke broken English,
Okay.
not complete sentences. So I guess I wasn't able to get him to understand. No,
please don't.
Very well. Please don't touch me. No.
Right.
But yeah, he just reached right out and touched my face with his dirty brush, and I was horrified and had to finger him really sternly, and then walk very quickly away. And on my way out, I had to walk all the way around the other side of the mall to avoid getting anywhere near that.
Plus, it's fucking glitter, man.
It's glitter.
Like-
That's like the herpes of the craft world. You can't get that shit off.
Sparkle Fandango recorded it on this couch like 2 years ago. I'm still finding little flecks of glitter
I'm
sometimes.
pretty sure there's still glitter on this couch right now.
Around this place. Yeah. I mean, that would be the thing, is that whenever somebody new came on, they would just like dump a bunch of glitter on their head, and Allison would be like, I'm totally going to clean it up. And I'm just like,
No, you're not.
it's like
You
lava.
can't clean it up, quote unquote.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
like Trump's going to build a wall.
Right.
It's like, no.
Oh, somebody just showed me today that
Tell me.
Surgery Simulator has a Donald Trump mode where you get to, it's basically the Donald Trump head, and then you get to like rip his chest open and take his heart out and throw it in the side of the ambulance. All the while there's
Beautiful.
like Fox News stuff happening. I can't believe that I didn't know this. I
Can we play that next week?
can't wait to play
Dojo?
it.
Dojo that.
Oh man,
Dojo it.
It's probably going to have to. It's probably going
We
to have to
have
happen
to.
at some point.
Yes. Now I need that in my life. After the rage that occurred in the mall from the mauling, the mall. My girlfriend calls it the mall, MAUL.
Right.
For a reason.
Right.
So now I'm horrified, and I'm never going to go back. I took a picture of the flyer though, and I tweeted the company because it's like a boutique of a company from Houston. And I took a picture of it and told them exactly what happened on their Twitter page, and surprisingly have heard no response.
What? That's crazy. You mean that Twitter isn't a tool for influencing the world and actually communicating with people? It's almost like it was just made to scream about what you don't like about Captain America 24
I'm
hours a day.
disillusioned. Totally disillusioned.
Well, see, I don't know. I have a whole different opinion. I'm trying to think of the last time that I've been to a mall. I think it was probably to buy microphones at the Guitar Center. But
Nice.
I do have a quite a bit of fondness for the Robin Sparkles classic "Let's Go to the Mall" from How I Met Your Mother.
Sure. I'm a fan of Mall Rats.
Yeah, Mall Rats is great. Have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know
Like an episode or two of it.
Okay, have you ever seen the episode where it turns out that Robin is a Canadian pop star?
I have not.
And she's like Debbie Gibson. She sings a song about the mall. It's great because
I need to
it's
see that now.
what's her name? Fucking Robin Scherbatsky. It's also Maria Hill. What the hell is that lady's name?
Oh, don't even. No.
God damn it! Anyway. Not is she Maria Hill in the MCU? Yeah, she is. I was really upset that she wasn't in Civil War because I was like, where are you? You were in Winter Soldier, but where are you now?
Oh, and then there's the South Park episode where they're the boy band in the mall.
Oh yeah, Finger Bang.
Finger bang bang.
And then they have the other one with the Game of Thrones Black Friday, where everybody's trying to get the PlayStation 4 versus Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that new South Park game that's supposed to be out at some point this year. I know it's going to sneak up on me. The Separate Butthole. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you play the last South Park game?
I think I did briefly.
Oh, it's incredible.
I remember when the first season of South Park, the first South Park video game, the arcade game. Oh, fond memories of my childhood.
Was there an arcade game for South
There
Park?
There was.
Yikes. All I know is that up until the last one, the Stick of Truth, every South Park game has been garbage before that. But then when they actually
I liked the one with the cows and the paintball. That one was fun.
Oh, God, I remember that.
Right? That was
remember
fun
that.
shit.
I don't think I ever played it, though.
Oh, I did. Oh, so good.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, let's jump in because we got
let's do stuff.
A lot of news to deal with here. And the first news, I can't remember if we fully reported on this last week or if it was just a rumor, but No Man's Sky, which was supposed to be coming out at the very beginning of what month are we in? Is this July?
We're in June now.
June? Okay,
yeah, it's supposed
whatever.
to be out this month.
It's a time and space,
You
whatever.
know, E3.
Yeah.
That hole that people are all worried about, and so other things get pushed to the side because
Telling
E3.
you. Tussin roller coaster. I'm on the Tussin coaster.
Preach.
I don't know what day it is, what time it is.
We're now in June.
I'm pretty sure.
Welcome to June 2nd, right
that
now.
I just have 2 microphones and I'm just doing your bits like on the one side. Is that?
Oh, for those of you at home who didn't know already, Jeff really has split personalities.
It's like the
I have
Tyler
just a
Durden.
facet of yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I record this once and then I
The
go to.
question is, which is the sane one and which is the crazy fun one?
Well, I'm pretty sure that I'm the uptight, can't sleep Edward Norton style one. I mean, you've got
Nice,
crazy
yeah.
hair.
So that
and
makes me
dress
crazy fun.
Very
Cool.
well, you know.
So the soap is coming,
Okay, good.
and dynamite everything.
Keep your lie away from my hand. That's all I want. Anyway, so
Just don't resist; it'll go fine.
No Man's Sky has been delayed by 7 weeks. It should be out not this month, but the end of next month, which is it's news. It's usually something that I would throw back a little bit in the news, except that it's dialing back into. Speaking of the roller coaster, I have this cycle where the internet I'll be very cool with the internet for a while, and then it's like we'll have a week like this where it's Captain America and there's gorillas just dragging kids around that get blasted on.
No, don't even get me started.
And then there's like, oh, No Man's Sky has been delayed for 7 months, and what happens next is that the fucking whatever that bland ass dude is, who's that guy? Sean Murray. Sorry, Sean. Have you ever seen an interview with the guy who makes No Man's Sky? He's like the most Blandy McWhiterson I've ever seen in my life.
Blandy McWhiterson. That's technical verbiage, folks.
But death threats.
Okay.
Death
I have
threats.
strong feelings about this.
Yes.
I have very strong feelings about
Tell
this.
me about them, because I have similarly.
Okay, speaking from somebody who works in a different facet of the industry, but still a facet of the industry, in that I'm working hand in hand with a company that's making virtual reality films right now.
Sure.
We're the only film company that's going to be debuting anything and having a booth at E3. So I'm going to be at E3. I'm going to get to see all this shit that's happening.
Cool.
I understand deadlines. We
Sure.
found out at the very last minute that the technology that is going hand in hand with the films we're making is not the specs that we thought it was. Instead of like 180 degrees, it's only like 65 degrees.
Oh, that's
so
not
all
good.
the films we've been shooting since November, like the K film I was talking about and all that stuff, all of those are like completely out the window. We can't do anything with them.
The fuck?
So we had to start from scratch and make more films in the next 2 weeks before E3. We found this out a month ago. So the riot that I was filming a couple weeks back, all that business was because we all of a sudden had to meet a completely new deadline for E3 and scrapped everything we've been working for months.
Okay.
So I totally understand that at the last minute expectations change or you have to round a different corner.
Yes.
I understand it. And there's nothing that you can do about it. The only thing that you can do is rush it and give a crap product, or you can move your deadline back and release a product that's going to be amazing and people are going to love.
Sure.
It's like people are going to bitch no matter what you do. If you keep the deadline and the product sucks, they're going to bitch and they're never going to want to buy it.
Absolutely.
If you move the deadline back a couple weeks, they're going to give you death threats and not understand and be dicks about it.
Yes.
But then when you release the product, it's going to be amazing and everybody's going to love it. So screw you all. I'm like, really, guys? Can we just calm down a little? Your life is not going to end because you don't have No Man's Sky.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes. And it's not, I mean, here's the thing. As sad as it is to say this, I could maybe kind of understand if this was like, oh, guess what? We're canceling No Man's Sky. Or
Right.
Hello Games has been purchased by Facebook, and this is going to be a Facebook game. Or the No Man's Sky is going to be an Xbox 360 exclusive and not available on any other console, okay?
Or Final Fantasy 15 isn't coming out for another 5 years.
Okay. Well,
Whatever.
that
Like-
one I expect. I wouldn't get upset if they
Yeah,
were
I
like,
know. I'm like, it's going to...
okay, it's going to come out for the
It's like,
PlayStation
really,
16.
guys? It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
It's 6 weeks.
It's a couple months.
Right.
You've got plenty of other shit to play between now and then.
There's a ton of other stuff coming out.
Come on.
I know that people are really looking forward to this, but really, I just, every so often, this internet thing, it just makes me shake my head and say, what are you doing? I mean, I know that people from Rage Select are... I worry, Jennifer, is the thing. Because here's the thing. I come from a faraway planet called I was born in 1978 when there wasn't an internet. And I grew up and had a teenage years and was into my late teens before the internet was ever a thing, right? So the idea of so what I worry about is that this is the beginning still of the internet. The internet hasn't even been around for 50 years yet, right?
Right.
Like, And people have already come to a point where it's like when you read a story like No Man's Sky was delayed for 6 weeks and the creator got death threats. That, you know, I feel like all of our response to that is, no, that seems about right. This is the day. It's 2016. You do a thing that somebody doesn't like. You know, Batman's cape is blue instead of black, and Zack Snyder gets death threats. Or, you know, I said I like this Taco Bell thing instead of that Taco Bell thing, and the first thing that people go to is death threats. It worries me because this, like, I've seen the escalation happen, and this is now normal, and I'm my brain is horrified at what in 10 years this escalation is going to look like. Because
I agree.
Once we all get totally to the point where saying, I hope you die or I'm going to come to your house and kill your family is just like every day, like that doesn't faze us anymore because fuck it. That's what everybody says on the internet. That's how I say hello on the internet. Then what the hell? Like,
people are pretentious and entitled. That's all it is. People just need to calm down.
You just got to calm down. You just got to calm down a little bit.
Remember the days when all you had was a book.
You can't,
bro.
You can't be this upset all the time, or else you're going to break yourself. Your insides are going to be broken because you're just going to only
find your zen.
Be able to hate stuff. I mean,
just find your zen.
Here, allow me
do some yoga
to put this in perspective.
Listen to some Mozart.
Yeah,
just chill it out, man.
Or just go.
You're being very undue.
See how many wings you can eat. Or like,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Go-kart racing on acid. I don't know.
Don't do that. Sounds dangerous. And
mix Robitussin PM and Robitussin DM. Who knows
what? What are you telling people to do?
This is the bad advice.
We've gone crazy. We've jumped the shark. Just delusional.
Yep,
the meds are kicking in. Have a Halls, buddy.
Don't
have a Halls and calm down.
Don't listen to me. Yeah, have a Halls and relax. But here we go. Next week, Odin Sphere Leaf Tizer and the new Mirror's Edge is out. The week after that is fucking E3. The week after that is, let's see, on the 21st, Umbrella Corps. Okay, that's gross. Tokyo Mirage Sessions hashtag Sharp FE comes out for the end of the month. Lego Star Wars Force Awakens comes out for the end of the month. New Star Ocean 5 comes out for the end of the month.
I know, Star Ocean.
Like, come on, guys. There are things to play. Most importantly, Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter comes out on June 10th.
Yes, I want it.
There are things to play, and I'm positive that you haven't played everything that came out last month. So fucking chill. Because I don't want to
breathe a little.
I don't want
a little.
I feel like when I'm old, I'm going to be reading these stories about how people have to go to therapy to learn how to have any emotion that's not just white hot fury. That eventually it spills out of the internet into real life. Everybody just starts screaming at each other, and then that becomes normal. And then we're all just like fucking Donald Trump all the live long day over here.
Just love a little bit. If you're that mad about it, just come to E3. Stop by the Immerex booth. Say hi. I'll give you a hug. Yeah. Life will be fine.
Life
will be fine.
Watch the Lego movie, right? Or,
True. The Dory movie's coming out. Go watch that.
Yeah, Finding Dory.
Do it.
Or
go watch The Big Lebowski and remember how to be a dude.
Yeah, or I don't know, man. Like, just go get super high.
That too. That's a thing.
Like when you're
People
ready to say, I hope you die, just be like, hey, roommate or next door neighbor or I don't know, weed is everywhere, right? Like
go down to 6th Street in Austin, Texas on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And just wait.
Go out into the street by your house and just be like, hey, does anybody around here sell weed? And
5 people will come running.
You might have to wait
weird.
A little bit, but like in 10 minutes, some guy will come stumbling out of his house and be like, did you say you have weed? And be like...
Austin, Texas. Such a strange and unusual place. But I love you anyway.
So, yeah, please, just...
Hey, what's that about Final Fantasy there at the bottom there?
Calm down a little bit.
No, it went away.
Final Fantasy Masterminds reminisce about this. This is just a fluff piece about old Final Fantasies. All right, so next up on the hit parade, E3 is coming.
Woohoo!
But Microsoft has already decided to jump E3, which, honestly...
we all knew it was coming.
5 years from now, there's not going to be an E3.
Shush! That's not... No.
It's going to be...
It's going to be completely different. It's not going to be like a con-goer experience, per se, but it's definitely still going to be a staple of the industry.
Maybe.
There are still companies that are finding uses for it, especially newer up-and-coming companies, like this Immerex company. It's going to be their first time showing because they're launching a new product. It's really exciting, actually. It's a handheld virtual reality system that's not console-driven. Yeah, wrap your mind around that.
Oh,
it's
so
like the
you plug
Walkman of
okay.
VR.
Okay.
So it's a smaller headset, like a pair of sunglasses, but a little bigger.
Nice.
You could like take it on an airplane and watch little movies and stuff like that. It's really groovy, and that's what I've been making films for since November.
Yeah.
Imarex, they're the guys to watch at E3 this year. So yeah, so there's still new things. It's like when I lived in Washington State, I lived in Bremerton, which is about 45 minutes from Seattle.
Sure.
There's the Pacific Science Center at the feet of the Space Needle in Seattle. And back in the day, I mean, I've not been in a good 10, 15 years, but when I was a kid, it was used for science experiments. I mean, I remember the first generation of 3D technology when there was the ginormous headsets and this big crane-like thing, and you had to have this set, and you stood there, and you could see things, and so there are still people that will find a use for it, but it's going to change.
Okay.
Is all I think.
I don't know. I get the feeling that these days with the streaming tech, I don't know that you need all this stuff in one building. But anyway.
Well, but things like VR, it's still critical, because unless you have a VR set at home, you can't really experience it properly.
They are opening parts of this up to the public. I keep seeing more and more events where it's like, oh, EA is going to have like a big tent where people who aren't industry people can come and look at this stuff. It almost seems like these days because like Nintendo Power and GamePro or Electronic Gaming Monthly, like magazines and sites like GameSpot aren't like central focal hubs for getting. It's not like there's only 4 places on the internet to find internet gaming news, right? You literally just throw a rock and you can hit it anywhere. That it's almost like the democratization needs to happen, and when that happens, you have to wonder, why not just, instead of going to E3, why not just rent out your own space instead of paying the electronic the gaming whatever they are for space and renting out Staples Center and building this big booth. Why not just rent out a warehouse over here the week before E3, fill it up with all of your brand new games, and then just let anybody come in and play them, and let them all tweet and blog and YouTube about it all live long day, instead of going through this monolithic process.
It could be similar to like what South by Southwest is. You know, it's a couple weeks worth of stuff here in Austin, and people do that. They rent out different theaters and different expo halls and things like that. It's still South by Southwest. It's still a big overhanging event, but all of these companies have their own events within that umbrella and do their own things. So I think it's just going to go through a facelift. It's just going to change the format, maybe change the venue a little bit, change the way that it goes about, but still be the same thing, like the World's Fair of technology-oriented entertainment stuff.
That'd be cool if it turned into like a South by Southwest thing, where it was like a week worth of interactive, just people setting up stuff instead of all inside. Because I mean, like when I went to E3 with Jason, this is the thing that everybody doesn't know is
when
like
was that?
The first year of Rage Select, so this is year 3, so it was 2013.
Cool.
Day one, there's a line when they're opening up the doors that goes like from the doors almost out to the fucking parking lot of people trying to get in, because there's lines and it's hard, like appointments book up. It's one of these things where in the world in which we live, I find that there used to be a good reason for E3, because you needed this like nexus of stuff that all happened at the same time.
You have to come to the tech because the tech can't come to you.
Right.
Sure.
But now it's like everybody's got a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel and whatever, and so
we do.
Yeah. Anyway, back to E3. Microsoft has dropped the price of the Xbox One by $50.
Woo! Buy it now.
Which sounds woo, but please don't buy it now. Please. Because there's only one reason that they're doing this, and it's because, like Sony, they're going to probably be announcing a new hardware revision for $400 at the E3.
Give me that Oculus upgrade. Do it.
Yep. I feel like both Sony and Microsoft are going to do this year. And again, I couldn't be more upset about it if I tried, because
really,
well, I'm an early adopter. I mean, I shelled out $450 for my PlayStation 4, and it's been 2 years, 3 years. Like PlayStation 3 had a 10-year life cycle. I could still hook up my PlayStation 3, and games still run fine on it. Same with my 360. Sure. But if
I still have a PS2 that works just damn fine.
Right, but if the new PS4 / new Xbox One run games better than these, it means that like you're starting to get into this weird thing where are you expected to upgrade every 3 years? Are you expected to shell out another $400 for a console every 3 years? Because that is what you do on the PC. And if that's the case, I'm going to go back to being a PC Master Race guy.
Sure, 'cause it's easier.
Yeah, you just buy a new video card every 3 years instead of a
Sure.
new console. So
It's the same shift in consumerism that we had with cars, where back in the 50s and 60s they were built well, they were built to last, they were built to run forever,
Right.
and some of those cars are still around and still kicking and great.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays you buy a 2016 whatever, and next year it's going to be falling apart and you're going to be expected to upgrade or buy the new model or whatever the hell. So
Yep.
it's like they're slowly shifting to that mechanism for consoles as well.
the iPhone model, basically. Where,
It's like in a year you're going to have the next model and you're going to have to go buy it because nothing else works and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And
So
I still like a world that runs the way that you've been talking to me about it recently, in that it's all just going to be streamed from some great big giant mainframe in the sky, and you can just stream it and be good to go, and
if
all
only
the bulky shit goes away. And
my friend in South Austin has Google Fiber. I'm so pissed off. I watched him install a game. It was like an 8 gig game on Steam. It took like a minute and a half. It was just
Jeez.
like, and it was done. And I'm
They
like,
claim that it's in my neighborhood. I've seen the trucks parked like back to back on our street, but we don't have it.
Sons of
I'm
bitches.
so mad. I want it.
anyway, back to this story. If you are looking to buy an Xbox One, this is good news because it means that this is down to just straight up $300 for an Xbox One. I would highly, highly, highly suggest at least waiting until after E3 to make sure that they don't spring some bullshit on you, because chances are that if you want to buy an Xbox One and you haven't yet, and at E3 they announced the new one that's way better and it's only $100 more, you probably want to wait for that.
Sure.
Because
Because Oculus, because VR.
Right.
Because it's a thing. It's coming to you.
maybe. I don't know.
It's coming.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Also, speaking of Microsoft is kind of getting a little bit of flack this week from the Minecraft community, since they've apparently added in some new language into Minecraft. And it's weird because at first glance, I wouldn't think that this would be that controversial, that you can't use Minecraft to advertise a thing. Like if you're a company, you can't build a Taco Bell in Minecraft and then use Minecraft to sell Taco Bell. But I don't know, man. Minecraft is like Legos, and I kind of feel like getting this, these deep user agreement things that say like, here's what you can do and here's what you can't do. I mean, this probably isn't going to affect anybody that uses Minecraft for streaming
For
or
funsies,
for just for fun. But on the other hand, it kind of comes off as one of those, like, Minecraft is one of the truly interesting and innovative things that's happened in the last 10 years of gaming. Like, it's a big thing that's happened that I don't think anybody really saw coming. It was just this little niche thing, and basically,
And then boom.
yeah, made Legos. Everybody's played it. It's everywhere. It's crazy. So I don't think that Microsoft does themselves any favors by cracking the whip and really locking down in their terms of service like what you can do and what you can't do with Minecraft, because it seems like the sort of thing where you just want to let Minecraft be Minecraft, and the more you try to control it, it's kind of like, maybe I'll move that story way up, but it's kind of like Overwatch porn in that respect of like, are you really going to start going after people for using Minecraft to build something promotional? I mean, maybe not making a commercial that's on TV, but like, if you're fucking running a, I don't know, underground Chuck E. Cheese somewhere. I don't know why that's the first example that comes to mind.
You have the weirdest brain. I love you, but damn.
It's like a Prohibition era Chuck E. Cheese after they've shut them all down.
It's that pizza, man. You got to get it.
Yeah, you want to build a Minecraft server that's full of your horrifying Chuck E. Cheese heads. Who cares? Like, just do it.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
No.
It reminds me of like 6 months ago, Microsoft did another thing where they updated their terms of service for something with a bunch of language. It was like, you can't use this to sell anything, in a way that basically gave them a blanket, gave them carte blanche to be able to basically shut down anybody monetizing Let's Plays of their games. It basically said, if you make any money off of our games ever, that's not allowed. And I don't think they're enforcing it, but it gives them the opportunity to basically do it whenever they feel like it. And that's kind of like gross. So
It's like with DC and fan films. That's a conversation that's been happening a lot lately. It's like you can't make a fan film off of our characters and not expect us to get paid for it. So you got to go through this whole red tape process to get licensing to do it. And if you don't, at any point in time, we can just be like, nope, DNR.
I don't know. I almost feel like the way to fix some of that stuff is fixing the copyright law, because I know that in a lot of cases, like there was a story that we had about a World of Warcraft 1.0 server that was being run that Blizzard shut down, and people were very upset about it until Blizzard came out and they were like, well, here's the thing. There's clauses out there that if you don't protect your intellectual property, you start to lose control of it. Like if you have a copyright and then somebody knocks that copyright off and you don't go after them, then that sets a precedent that can actually weaken your claim on that character. So, for fan film stuff, it's like I can almost wonder whether is this just DC being a bunch of assholes, which I can totally see because they are a lot of time assholes,
and they hate making money, but that's a different story.
Or is this them like, we have to maintain some control over what people are doing with like Batman, or else we're eventually going to start to lose the integrity of our copyright claims on Batman.
In the way that it's been fought about, it's more an issue of how dare you make money off of our intellectual property than how dare you take our property and do something weird with it.
Yeah.
In the cases that I've seen, at least. So it's like, if you just make a film for free and you don't charge anybody anything for it and it's just on YouTube and it's out there, cool, we don't give a shit. But if you're charging people to buy it or selling tickets to see it, then we have a problem because that's our shit and you're not paying us for it.
Yeah. I'm kind of
weird.
I don't know.
It's weird.
At this particular point in history, I'm like, we have such a there's so much creativity out there for fan films and cosplay and stuff like that. Just fucking let it go. Let it happen.
I come from the weird background of music, where for hundreds of thousands of years, the standard was you took the popular music of the day and you took those melodies and made them your own and transformed it into something else. I mean, that's how the church got people into church every Sunday, was they took whatever the secular music of the time was and
Justin
they put
Bieber.
it to... Yeah, and they put it to non-secular tones and, praise Jesus through it, and that got people to church because they're like, hey, I know that Justin Bieber tune. What are you singing about? I'm going to come in here.
All
So,
right.
I mean, everything Mozart wrote was taken from somebody else, and, I mean, it's hard to find any famous composer that wasn't musically borrowing from somebody else, and that was just what you did. That was the standard of the day. You took it, you made it your own, you put your own gloss and spin on it, and you went with it. So, in the days now of this whole intellectual property thing where it's Justin Bieber getting sued for quoting another piece of music, I honestly don't know how I feel about it all the time. I mean, I feel like, sure, if you're just carte blanche stealing something from somebody else and calling it your own and saying you wrote it, I could have a problem with that. But if you're saying, hey, Justin Bieber wrote this and I'm singing it, I don't see a problem with that because you're not his vocal cords. You're your vocal cords, so it's different when you do it.
Yeah.
But I have a very weird standpoint on that.
I honestly think the whole system is kind of busted personally because nobody takes into account the money has become so much the overriding factor that nobody takes into account the equally important clause of there's a time where the art gets released back to the public, and that Disney has destroyed that because they will not let Mickey Mouse go into public domain, which he should be. Like, that should have happened.
Right.
And that was, they keep extending the copyright time to keep Mickey Mouse from becoming public domain. When there's a thing where eventually the public that has supported your artistic endeavor, they eventually then get to take your art back into themselves after a reasonable amount of time where you've made all the money that you're going to make on this.
Right.
Then it becomes public domain. Then it goes out and anybody can use it for anything.
Right.
And yeah,
And that's how it should be.
I know that you fucking love Mickey Mouse, Disney, but like, you got to let go
Play
at
fair.
some
You got to
point.
play by the rules, bros.
Exactly. Anyway, back to the news. So we had a story a little while back that Nintendo wasn't going to be showing any single thing at E3 except for Zelda. And today or this week or 2 hours ago, regardless, I don't know, whatever, there was a report that said they are going to be doing some streaming for the new Pokemon, for Tokyo Sessions,
because everybody's excited.
Sharp FE, Monster Hunter Generations, Dragon Quest 7, and Pokemon Go. So I think this is all going to be on their Twitch channel, Nintendo Treehouse. So I don't know if they're actually going to have a physical presence inside of E3.
Because you don't have to be at E3 to stream. You can stream from anywhere.
Yeah. But for people that are fans of Nintendo, like, this softens a little bit because I've been kind of screaming at Nintendo for a while of, like, you announced that your new console's coming out next year. You're not showing any of your things at E3. Like, you still have games that are coming out, Nintendo. Don't throw my fucking crazy JRPG waifu under the bus, all right? I want to see more Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE because that game is nutty. All right, well, next up, we are going to roll up into the trailers. We have a handful of trailers this week, and the first one was one that frustratingly came out like literally an hour and a half after John and I finished recording our podcast last week.
As always happens.
Yeah. For the new Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, Jennifer, have you ever played a Ghost Recon game?
I have seen them played. I have not actually played them myself.
Okay.
My dad is a huge fan of Tom Clancy, so...
Okay. I have tried playing a bunch of them, and they're generally very dry.
Oh, wait. I take that back. I did play one of the first ones on PC back in the day. I did.
Like the first Ghost Recon on
like
PC?
old school, old school. Yeah,
very
like
difficult.
when I was young.
Very hard. Like, you just
and I was
die
super
all the
young
time.
at the time, so yeah.
Yeah. There's this new trailer call for Ghost Recon Wildlands.
The voiceover on it is great. I love the story element to it. It made me care. I cried a little. I didn't cry.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because for me, I was listening to this voiceover and I was like, this is like that kid on the playground when you're playing who keeps adding powers to with the powers that he has because they got all these Ghost Recon guys, and it's just a generic trailer. It's a bunch of guys dropping into various places and doing military stuff, but they're like,
super secret hero military stuff.
Yes, but the voiceover is just like, we are explorers. We go where no. We are risk takers. We are scholars.
We are archaeologists.
We are super villains. We are
like, everything.
Yeah,
we're every woman.
We are baristas. We are like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah. The one guy's like, we are adventurers. We do what other people. It's like, it's not the fucking X Games. You're like a paramilitary squad.
Hey man, but if I had to bid on a game just based on voiceover, man, I'll tell you what, that voiceover got me to the table.
Okay,
I don't give a crap about games of this kind, but damn. Good storytelling, bros. Good storytelling will win me over 9.5 times out of 10.
It looks pretty good, but this is one of those games where I feel like at this point, I mean, I saw they did like a 15 to 20 minute thing last E3. There's been like one trailer since then, and then this trailer, and I'm like, okay, you're done.
Just do it. Do it already.
Don't show me anything else.
Stop building it up. Just give it to me.
Because the more of these generic military dude trailers that you show me, the less excited I'm going to end up being by the time the game comes out. So.
Yeah, because it's like I can't tell them all apart anymore.
Yeah.
It's like one is bleeding into the other. There's so many. So many. Can we just please give something completely different? Like, give me an undersea weird game. I don't know. Something.
Actually, next week there's an H.P. Lovecraft third-person Oculus-only game by the guys that made Ratchet and Clank coming out.
I think I need a moment.
Called
that
Edge,
sounds tasty.
Edge of Nowhere, I believe.
I am a fan already.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah.
I want VR tech in my house.
I'm going to see if I can play it on my DK2, but last time I tried to play something on that, it was so juddery that I couldn't do it. But
don't do it.
I don't know.
I have a friend who has the Oculus at his house, and he's one of my referee bros for TXRD, the Bank Track Roller Derby League, and he's had it for the last month or so, and every time I see him, which is twice a week at least, he's like, hey, you got to come up to the house and you got to play it. You got to do it. But I've been on film sets and shooting streams, and I'm like, I have to. Well, but I live way the fucking South Austin, south of the river, and he lives north of Round Rock.
Oh, so like further north, like
so he lives in Canada,
north.
and I live in Mexico,
right?
And it's like, when the hell do I have time to get up there without pissing my girlfriend off because I'm gone in the evening?
Yeah, because it takes you what, like 20 minutes to get to my house?
No. It takes me 45 to an hour, depending on the time of day.
Okay.
Yeah, I commute to Mexico, or from Mexico to Canada to come see you.
And then he lives like, it would take me 15 minutes to get to where he lives. So you're talking about like a full
an hour and a half.
Yeah,
at least, depending on the time of day. So So I just haven't. But I think finally Tuesday I'm gonna get up there and do it.
You should.
I've been like salivating over it because he's been having a good time and showing me videos and stuff. But I want to do it.
I've been. My friend has a Vive that I really need to go check out. He also has a 4K compatible system. So
nice.
Anyway. All right. Next up on the trailer parade, Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, this one. I like this. This looks great.
I actually considered cutting this particular trailer from the news because I don't know enough about Shin Megami Tensei to really say.
I
what
like
the hell is going on here.
The guy who does the voiceover for the bad guy here reminds me of what's his face from Twisted Metal?
The Joker. The clown guy.
No, the guy who runs the competition.
Oh, I don't know what
Crazy Face. What the hell is his name?
I don't.
Oh, my brain. Why does my brain never work when I'm on the podcast?
James Caan.
Oh, I'm making myself
Carrot
look
Top.
bad here. Give me 2 seconds.
John Marsden.
You're just going to keep naming people.
Batman? Anyway, while she's looking this up, Shin Megami Tensei, this looks definitely like a Shin Megami Tensei game. You're running around, there's like demons, and you get killed at the beginning, and then like there's a demon war and something. It's pretty. I mean, it's a 3DS game. It looks kind of interesting. I don't know that I have...
Calypso. That's it.
Okay, there you go.
Brain.
I don't know that I have the time to devote to something like this. I mean,
I'll take it.
I'm only about halfway through The Witcher or Witcher 3 again at this point.
Again.
And, I never finished it last time.
I love this animation style. And now I have the PSP, so I'm finally getting into handheld games again for the first time in like a decade.
Oh, did you get
All I have for it is Crisis Core. That's all I have. Final Fantasy.
Right.
Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, that's why one of my Mayhem games loaned it to me.
You say you have a Vita or a PSP?
PSP.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
This is an older game.
Right.
I mean, if you have other things, I'll take them and I'll play them and I'll talk all about them.
I'm just trying to think of
especially because I'm going to be at E3 for a week, so I'm going to have that with me because I'm not going to have.
I'm just trying to think of good PSP games.
I mean, Crisis Core is amazing.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to playing it.
Peace Walker was the one that was the big one, but then that requires the Metal Gear out the wazoo. All right, next up, Street Fighter V has put out a trailer for Ibuki, who we all know from Street Fighter 3, I believe. Little ninja lady. She's coming. She's got her. I didn't see her little raccoon power, Tanuki power, or whatever. But yeah, she's just doing her thing, doing her ninja thing. I'm a little bit. I watched this trailer, and I'm a little bit. I feel. Maybe it's just because I'm such a negative Nancy this week, but like...
this week? What?
Yeah, I was watching this trailer and I'm just like, Capcom, can we get more than like 3 new Street Fighters per Street Fighter game? Maybe instead of re-releasing every, like, Alex and Ibuki and all of the previous Street Fighter characters...
Give us new peeps.
Maybe you could do a Street Fighter 3 and just bring in a whole new roster full of people.
I take that.
Because I don't know that, like, you could, like, I'm looking at this trailer, and I don't know that if you took these moves that Ibuki is doing and just translated them onto a different character, they could totally be on any character that you wanted them to be on.
I mean, they're pretty stock.
Yeah, so I don't know. I
was underwhelmed, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I don't know that I really have a whole lot to say about that. I also don't have real strong feelings about Ibuki or Street Fighter V. Call me back when the story mode comes out at the end of the month, because they still don't have the full story mode in there.
Exactly.
Give it another try.
That's exactly what I thought when I was reading that.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, Blackwood Crossing.
I'm intrigued. I don't like this art style. I'm not really a fan of this style of animation. But the music and the teasing and whatnot, I don't know. I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, this is. There's not really a whole hell of a lot to this trailer, but
except for the creepy thing at the end.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. The art black and white sketch thing at the beginning is really pretty.
I mean, I like the. It's funny because I was almost about to cut this. It's like some kind of first person. Oh, it's a rabbit.
It's a weird, creepy rabbit thing.
See what that was before.
See, every time you've ruined me. Every time I see a stuffed animal or like this kind of weird person rabbit head thing,
sure.
I think of that damn horror game.
Five Nights at Freddy's? Or?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
every time now.
Okay.
You've ruined me for
What?
stuffed creatures of any kind.
I didn't make Five Nights at
Also
Freddy's.
furries.
That
You
wasn't-
did it, but you showed it to me.
Oh, okay. Well,
Ruined.
anyway,
I blame you.
I was actually thinking about cutting this particular trailer, but then I started looking at the screenshots on their actual website, and I don't know. I really like the style. Like this thing is like really dripping with a lot of style. It's kind of got this like weird cartoony vibe to it.
I love all of the art with the exception of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, that's a Silence of the Lambs egg there.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there.
Weird.
So anyway, whatever this is,
Creepy reference.
looks cool. Apparently, I think it's going to be one of those like walking simulators where you're just like strolling around, checking stuff out.
And storylining.
Yeah.
I dig it. I mean, I liked, what's that one? The one with the storyline changes. Life is Strange.
Oh,
I
okay.
like that one. That one was groovy.
I never actually got to play more than the first episode of
That
Life is
was one of
Strange.
the first Twitch streams that I watched, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it was that was playing it, but somebody was playing that game, and it kind of sucked me in, and I was like, I gotta watch it. I gotta see what's happening.
Some are good. I think Soma's probably the one that I've enjoyed the most.
Oh, okay.
But that one had a really interesting ending to it. Even that one, though, went on for a little while longer than I expected. All right, next up, and the last of our trailers, well, the last of the real trailers.
And my favorite.
Final Fantasy 15, Kingsglaive. Which
It's
is
gorgeous.
the tie-in movie for
it's beautiful
Final
and
Fantasy.
stunning, and I want it in my face right now.
Yep. June 9th, June 9th, it's coming out in Japanese theaters.
It's so pretty. Are they going to do it here at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. She's gorgeous. My favorite part is her hair.
Mm-hmm.
The movement of her hair when she speaks is stunning. I'm flabbergasted.
Oh,
I mean, I remember the Final Fantasy Spirits Within and how weird that art style was at the time. But
right.
This is so fucking pretty.
I never had
Look at her hair move.
I never had as much of a problem with Final Fantasy Spirits Within as everybody else. The one thing that I really noticed when I was watching this was the way that the lip sync isn't for Japanese. They're speaking in Japanese in the trailer, but the lip sync is obviously for English.
Is it English?
Well,
interesting.
I would have to assume so. I mean, if it's not for Japanese, I would assume that it's for English because those are the two biggest markets. But it was kind of weird just seeing this like super Final Fantasy style thing, and then the lip sync was off.
I had wondered what was up with that. I mean, hopefully, I don't know though. See, and I'm of two minds. I don't mind English dubs, but if given the preference, I mean, I'm a fast reader, so I love the voice acting of the Japanese culture. I love their mannerisms and their inflection and tone.
Yeah.
So I would watch a movie in the original Japanese with subtitles over watching it in English dubbed any day of the week.
Oh yeah, me too.
They're just,
but I feel that
gorgeous vocal technique there. Ugh.
I just feel like that I think it's English because they made such a big deal about like Sean Bean and Lena Headey and a few other
That's right. I read that they were in it.
The big
it's basically all the Game of Thrones cast.
Right, big English vocal cast.
So it's like you walk off the set of Game of Thrones and into the voiceover studio for Final Fantasy 15. God, their life must be hard.
But there was a couple different trailers here, and these all look pretty good. I really like the idea of them making a movie that ties into what's going on while the Final Fantasy 15 bros are out entouraging it up on the road.
And it's perfect timing because Final Fantasy 15 doesn't come out until what? The end of the year, beginning of
I think
next year? Is it coming out later in this year? So the movie's coming out beforehand, and it's going to tease you and taunt you into wanting to go play the game, which is great.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm kind of curious about is whether the movie is going to end up spoiling plot elements because it does happen simultaneously with the plot of the game, and since it's coming out first. I hope
know they're touting it as a prequel, so I imagine it's going to be setting up the game.
September, according to my little Game Informer thing. Yeah, September 30th, which is good because that's like a real date and not like a made it up.
I'm hoping that they're going to have some stuff for it at E3 that I can get in on and see.
Certainly.
I really want to see it.
I mean, well, I don't know. Square, they usually put on a pretty big booth, so...
I have no idea how much. So I'm working with Immerex, that VR company, and we're talking about the films that we've been shooting and things. So I'm going to be working at the booth for part of it, but I think I'm going to have a lot of time to actually run around.
You're going to have an exhibitor's badge.
Yeah. So I can go and see a bunch of stuff. And
the main thing that you might do, I would recommend two things. Actually,
Tell me, please.
probably,
I've never been to E3.
Probably during the...
Never been to LA.
I'll tell you more about this during the break, but one, as an exhibitor, you get to go into the hall an hour before journalists get to go in there.
Nice.
And not everybody's all set up or not everything is turned on, but you can walk around and if there's stuff going on, you can be like, hey, can I...
No crowds, no lines, just like one-on-one, hey, we're bros, let's hang out.
The other thing that you might do is talk with MRX and see if they're cool with you, if you've got a schedule for when you're going to be on and when you're going to be off.
Yeah.
Contacting a few, just looking up PR people's names and contacting a few places like maybe Square and be like, hey, I do Twitch streaming and I do primarily Square games and I'd love it if, like, do you have any time to set up an appointment for me to look at whatever you guys are showing? And
I hadn't thought of doing that.
say yay or nay.
I hadn't thought of that. You're a genius and I love you.
All right, great. Well, that's good. Next up, as we mentioned before, so Overwatch.
Oh, goodness.
Is Overwatch pornography? Because
I'm surprised, honestly.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
17-year-olds living in their parents' basements have nothing else better to do with their time. Also, like 30 to 50 some odd year old men with nothing to do with their time.
Yep.
He's dying. Have another hall.
The thing
You've been good. You've been real good. You can have the halls.
The thing that is interesting to me about this particular story is not the fact that there is Overwatch porn, because obviously there was going to be.
Oh, yeah, I'll unwrap that for you.
What's that? Oh no, it's fine. I got
it. Okay.
But the fact that apparently Blizzard is trying to fight it, which, come on, Blizzard, you know better than this. Like,
it's almost like a compliment to your work.
Yeah.
At this point, if you're big enough that people are making porn off of it.
Pornography is the highest form of flattery. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, God. That's going to come back to bite me in the ass.
I have read Jason and Jeff /fiction before.
Have you? That's fabulous.
Yep.
One of my favorite Twitch streamers, Abraham Linksys, he has somebody wrote a fanfic about him and another streamer, and it's really cheekily worded, and it's hilarious. And then another streamer who's a fan of his, who does voiceover work, voice acted it. And so that was my first introduction to his stream, was like, oh yeah, there's this fanfic. And I was like, wait, I need this.
Yeah.
And then the guy who voiceovered it sent it to me. It was hilarious.
Just stop it, Blizzard. The more you try to stop it, the more
the more it's going to pop up.
The more it's going to be
Then you'll have anger porn rage fan fiction, and it'll be weird.
Then people are they're going to take it as a challenge, right? The internet as a whole is going to take it as a challenge. You're never going to stop it.
It's like fanfiction.net has been a thing for decades now. I mean, people are going to do it.
Yeah.
Whether you give them permission or not, it's going to happen. Just let it happen.
Yep. I have a friend who has told me about a lot of stuff from the fanfiction community, and I'm like, yeah, you're not going to stop that.
No, you're not going to. You can't stop the beat.
Even if you stop,
can't stop the beat.
The animations that people are making, you're never going to stop the ladies from writing 400 words about Genji and Hanzo making out hardcore.
It's true. I still read fanfic.
Yeah.
It happens. It's life. I may or may not have written some when I was in high school, when I was bored and had nothing to do with my writing skills. That's life. No, it's life.
So yeah, stop it, Blizzard. That's stupid. You can't stop it. It's going to happen.
You can't stop the beat.
Speaking
of... this one's sad. Look at Pikachu's sad little face.
Speaking of things, so this is actually a really interesting story. So Pokemon Sun and Moon are coming out, and Nintendo has said that they're going to be localizing it into a whole bunch of different languages. And one of those languages is going to be Chinese. But apparently they're going to be... See, it's interesting because every time I read this particular article, the headline of the article is "People upset because they changed Pikachu's name."
Yeah, and that you're like, wait, what?
That's not it.
That's not it at all.
That's not it at all. What it is the fact that they're translating Pokemon Sun and Moon into Mandarin
instead of Cantonese.
Yes. And so, but the strange thing is, what Nintendo released, this is from the Polygon story. In response, Nintendo released a letter asking Hong Kong fans to simply ignore the Mandarin spelling and read it like they usually would. Like, that's kind of
that's lazy gamesmanship.
Yeah,
that's lazy. I don't understand that at all. Where is Nintendo based?
Japan, right? Obviously.
Okay. So, I mean, it's not like changing it from Japanese to American or Ukrainian or Irish. It's like they're right there. That's a huge market. Like, why would you ignore that huge of a fan base of your? I don't get it.
I don't either. It would be like if a company they were going to release a new Persona game over here, and they released it in Old English instead of like American English.
I don't get why. What are you doing with your life? Nintendo, you're drunk. Go home.
Nintendo actually, though, has been. I mean, like, this is a larger problem that it doesn't. Nintendo's been being very bad about with their localization stuff. Like, there's a game. Okay, so there's a game that's coming out on the PlayStation Vita. I looked at this story briefly, but there's a game coming out on the PlayStation Vita by NIS that is this. It's called Criminal Girls, and it's like you go to the underworld to. I'm using big quotey fingers here, train a bunch of demon girls to make them into better fighters. It's a fan service game where you scrub on the touch screen and
Sure.
And so NIS, when they're bringing it over to the U.S., has done all this work because there's a lot of like bondage and there's age issues with the Japanese version that they're changing to bring it over to the United States because they have to get it past the ESRB to put it on the Vita.
Okay.
Sony requires you to have a rating in order for it to be on the Vita, and the ESRB will simply, if they say it's AO, that's going to be a problem for you. You need to be able to get your game to a point where it's M-rated. Anyway, Nintendo's been doing this weird localization stuff between Xenoblade Chronicles and the new Fire Emblem and stuff like that, and they've just had this kind of attitude of like, well, we're not going to talk about it. Whereas NIS had this huge interview that they did where they're like, here's why we changed these things, here's what we changed, here's how we changed it, and here's exactly why we changed it, because we have to get our game rated, and we felt like there was a problem, blah, 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 blah. So I feel like this is a really tone-deaf response from Nintendo, and I feel like Nintendo as a company has been very tone deaf recently about, even going back to that whole thing of just like all we're going to show at E3 is Zelda.
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't get what Nintendo's doing right now.
I don't either. I do not understand.
I really don't get it.
I do not really understand what they're up to, because they really need to start, like, hopefully next year with the NX. Maybe they're just saving it up, and when the NX comes out, they're just going to break out there and they're going to fucking take the world by storm. And
I don't know. It just doesn't bode well.
I don't know.
It's setting a really bad precedence, I think.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't like it.
I don't know why.
Nintendo, stop making Pikachu cry, please.
Yeah.
Just look at those little cheeks.
The Polygon article here has a crying Pikachu.
Little floppy ears.
Yeah.
Oh, poor buddy. I just want to cuddle him. I'm not even a Pikachu fan, and I feel bad for him.
He's pretty much the most adorable thing of all time.
No, he's not.
No?
There are more adorable Pokemon. I mean Jigglypuff, honestly.
Okay.
Honestly.
I like the Lightning Rat. What can I say?
I was more of a Growlithe fan. Vulpix. I mean, come on. Cute little red fox baby. Just adorable.
What's that? What's that horrible one with the black face?
Narrow it down.
There's more than one black-faced Pokemon?
There are several black Pokemon.
No, I mean, like, this one was, like, black with giant lips and, like, looked really... Okay, never mind. Obviously
not the first generation, and I kind of stopped paying attention after Gold.
We're going to not venture down that particular path.
Let's not. Starbreeze.
Yeah, Starbreeze, the makers of a lot of crazy games that I don't like, and one game that I really, really do like, have purchased Payday.
They have
from
indeed.
505, which is interesting.
There's a whole lot of jargon in this post. A whole lot of numbers and math, and I don't.
Yep.
But yay, people bought it. They're still going to make things. New things are coming out. It's exciting things.
So have you ever played Payday before? Do you know what Payday is?
I've seen it played. I know of it. I've not played it myself. It's not my style.
I thought it was very interesting because in a time where people were really upset with like games like Grand Theft Auto for like shooting police officers, I'm like, the whole point of Payday is to shoot like hundreds and hundreds of police officers.
No, that's why I've not played it. Yeah.
Anyway, the big takeaway here is that Starbreeze is getting Payday 2 from 505, and they are going to be making a Payday 3. So
right
there you go.
Starbreeze.
What do you got? Brothers, Syndicate. Those are good.
Yeah.
And then Chronicles of Riddick, which is the best. So what are you going to do?
Riddick.
I'm pretty sure that Starbreeze. I'm pretty sure that Vin Diesel owns Starbreeze.
Really?
Because
I'm not surprised to hear that he owns a gaming company.
I remember that when Riddick came out, that like he saw them working on Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay, which was like one of their first games, and he liked it. And he was just like, "Yo, I want to buy that company." I don't know how to do Vin Diesel voice. I want to buy the company.
I love Vin Diesel so much. He's surprised me. I mean, I've liked his movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a movie of his that I was just like, nah, I don't like it.
What about that Triple X movie? That was pretty stupid.
I watched it, and I will admit to having watched the first movie in that series more than once.
Mm-hmm.
then finding out that he's a huge Dungeons and Dragons enthusiast, I think kind of just charmed me completely the fuck over.
Yeah.
Anybody, really, that has enough imagination to sit down at a table full of gamers and just get off on gaming. I love it.
Oh, wow. There's going to be a new Triple X movie this year.
Oh.
Or no, next year. Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage.
Oh, and he's in it. Good
He's
deal.
a
Good
producer. Oh, and in it, and as Xander Cage.
He's acting. Okay, he is acting and producing. Interesting.
And there's fast. Man, next year
they are making another one. That's
damn.
right.
Next year is going to be a new Triple X with Vin Diesel, a new Fast and Furious with Vin Diesel, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Vin Diesel as the voice of Groot. So there you go.
Was he the voice of Groot in the first one?
Yeah.
Why
that was
the
all
hell
Vin Diesel.
did I not know that?
Also
I
the
love
voice
him.
of the Iron Giant.
He's adorable.
Yeah. He's got a good voice for it.
He's a great nerd guy. I like it.
Oh, no, I remember when he first came onto the scene and I hated him, and then my roommate at the time was like, you do know he's like a giant video game nerd and like D&D dork, right? And I was like, no. And then I started watching Riddick, and I was like, I love the Riddick series.
They're great.
They're the second one, say Pitch Black, and then Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
It's got so much stupid in it. I love it anyway. They're
totally.
fucking
It's still
necronauts,
sexy.
and they're got dumb names for everything. Crematoria. It's like I always think that movie, everything in that was named by like a 13-year-old, like it was in their spiral notebook
Absolutely.
with the skull drawn on the front of it.
Yes.
Anyway, next up. So apparently, you Xbox One Fallout 4 players, really wanted you some mod support.
Apparently, that's all they got going on in their lives right now.
Yeah. Because the Xbox One Fallout 4 mods support was integrated yesterday, and apparently it was
Huge
50
success.
times as much traffic as mod support on the PC release.
Way to show up, PC gamers, guys.
Yeah.
Keeping the console love alive.
So it's going to be a month until this comes to the PlayStation 4.
Of course.
But and I'm curious, when it comes to the PS4, I'm honestly not going to buy a version. I'm not going to buy Fallout 4 for the Xbox
Just
One.
ask people about it.
Like, I'm curious to know, because the big thing that I've been interested is what happens if you make a mod that breaks Fallout 4? How do they stop that from going on to the mod store? Or slows it down?
That. Don't invoke that.
Adds custom art or something that would actually decrease the performance of it? Like, is that a thing, or does everything get tested first? I don't know.
I don't know how that... I don't
know if it's just the mods that have been approved on Steam that then Bethesda looks at and brings the best of them over, or what. But all right, well, let's speed it on up because we are getting a little bit over time here.
I've been wordy today.
Oh no! We're
this trailer was adorable.
So
I liked this one.
I'm pretty sure that this trailer, actually, when I looked at this trailer, this is the old trailer they had for the same game, but Dragon Quest Builders is actually getting a U.S. release date in October.
It's super cute. I would play it.
I don't understand how they ripped off Minecraft so hard without any consequences. I mean, this is not like an Xbox Live game.
The wording in it made me think that they were tandem, like that they were together.
No, this is just Dragon Quest basically ripping off Minecraft and making a Dragon Quest Minecraft thing.
Interesting. So, yeah, I'm surprised that that's not a problem.
Yeah. Or that Mojang just don't care.
They're like,
anyway,
fuck you dudes, our shit's great.
Yeah.
People will still play it.
It's weird. I'm really...
See, that's great gamesmanship right there. We're like, we're not scared. Bring it.
Yeah. I don't know. Dragon Quest has been so kind of off my radar for a while that I don't know. But I'll play it.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Hey, good news for Fable.
Oh yeah, we were worried about this.
Yeah. So apparently, it looks like though Microsoft won't let anybody buy Lionhead without with the Fable license
because they want to keep it.
They're
like, that's my shit. You can't play with my toys.
Lionhead has thrown out a Kickstarter for a Fable CCG.
Yep.
Kind of Hearthstone style.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not... I'm going to tell you right now that this Kickstarter is not going very well.
No, it's like a couple 100,000 is the goal, and they're only like 49,000, and it's like 26 days away.
Yeah, their goal is 365,000.
That was it. Yep.
And they're not even at 50 yet, and it's been up for 4 days as of this recording. I don't think that's 365,000 is quite a bit for something of this caliber. Like they're asking an awful lot. Like they're all asking what I would consider to be like AAA development money for what is essentially, I mean, it's like a Hearthstone style card game, right? Like those are not.
And there's a lot of a lot of games in that niche right now.
Like, honestly, when I look at this, everything here is like 3D. They've got all of this kind of like particle and lighting stuff going on. You could get away with making this look more like Hearthstone, of just having single cards with the concept art on it in the front.
It is pretty.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's very pretty. It's just I wonder whether asking $365K, that's quite a bit.
A lot of money
for a Kickstarter. You know, I've seen games that hit an $80K goal that were fantastic. So I hope. I mean, I hope that Lionhead manages to get this done. But just from what I've seen in the past from Kickstarters, I got to tell you that it doesn't look good. Usually, if you're not like way up close to your goal by the first week being done, you're going to have a little bit of a problem. So. Still, it looks good. I mean, if it comes out, I'll definitely play it. There's evil chickens, and that guy's wearing a Zod shirt, and
he is.
But yeah, so
that always reminds me. One of the head referee for last year's roller derby season, his ref name was Neil before Zod. His first name is Neil.
Oh,
so it was Neil before Zod.
Nice.
Funny. Anyway,
nice.
Moving on.
Yep. So moving on. This is a really interesting thing. Good Old Games is creating this new thing called GOG Connect, where certain publishers are going to allow you, if you have Steam games, that Good Old Games will let you import those games into your Good Old Games library, because they have a front end like Steam now. And it's interesting. Unfortunately, it's not a whole huge amount of things. Deep Silver, Harebrained Schemes, Jonathan Blow. So basically, you're looking at The Witness, FTL, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, Galciv, Trine, one of the Saints Row 2, Shadowrun Returns, Witcher Enhanced Edition, which that's CD Projekt Red, who owns GOG. It's
sounding a little Netflixy to me. Because they're like, some things will come and go. They'll only be there for a limited time.
Yeah.
You can get them while they're there, and that's it. I don't know.
It's interesting. It's like, okay, so once I transfer, like, let's say I have The Witcher and I transfer it over, and then you don't have The Witcher anymore. Is it still on the library? Like, does it disappear
I think that
from my library?
They're in both then.
So, I mean, I guess that makes a certain amount of sense.
You connect it to the other, and then you can have them on both, is my understanding?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that.
It's a decent incentive, because I would absolutely love to switch from Steam to fully Good Old Games, except for the fact that I have like something like 470 Steam games. So
you can't.
I need to get those somewhere else. Doing it a little bit at a time is good, but it would have been better if you could have come out and said, we've got 300 games that you can now transfer over to our library to try to get people to come over en masse.
Yeah, it's like they're wading into the shallow end of the pool. They're like dipping a toe in, seeing how the water feels.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So it's
a thing.
I don't know. It's a good idea. I hope they do something with it. I hope it doesn't go away. But it needs to be more. And last but not least, today is a day of fuck you, Konami. Fuck you so hard all the livelong day.
Jeff has a lot of feelings.
Konami, I hate you so much. I hate you so very, very much.
A lot of feelings.
I know.
Don't hold back, Jeff. Tell us how you really feel here.
They're such shitbag. They're so terrible that I literally want to go to their house and like I'm trying to figure out a good way to say this without reverting back to my original at the very beginning of the podcast, where I'm saying, "Don't be so internet angry, people." But okay, so
you boxed yourself into a hole in there, friend.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a nice a trailer today. This is the trailer that you didn't get to see, Jennifer. For like, this is okay. So if I fast forward in this trailer, what you can see is one of the most iconic scenes from Metal Gear Solid 3, one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time.
That's a very Harry Potter cloak.
Of the boss and Naked Snake, a.k.a. Nathan Snake, a.k.a. Nathan Drake, facing off in the field full of cherry blossoms.
Look like a gruffer Nathan Drake. That's funny.
And it's rendered in the Fox engine, and it's beautiful. And it's one of the most iconic things.
Bringing the pain.
Now, do you know what you're looking at? What this trailer is for?
No.
This is the Metal Gear Solid Pachinko machine. This Konami's Metal Gear Solid 3 Pachinko machine, where they've taken this iconic moment from one of the greatest games of all time and put it into one of the most beautiful gaming engines I've ever seen in order to put it into a fucking pachinko machine in Japan.
What the hell's a pachinko machine?
Pachinko, it's like I don't rightly know. If I remember correctly, I thought pachinko was like where you know that game where you drop the thing and then it like there's all the pins and it like goes between the different pins.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's like something you'd see on Price is Right. Yeah,
sort of
I dig
like
it.
Plinko, right?
Plinko,
like, right?
Yeah.
So Konami, one of the things that Konami makes outside of games is pachinko machines, which are huge in Japan. Huge pachinko parlors. The ladies go and they play pachinko. Everybody goes to play pachinko.
Right.
Like a slot machine, basically, but that's what they do. They also have health clubs. So here's the thing. Here's why this is upsetting to me. Because fucking Konami messed up Metal Gear Solid 5 by not funding it enough to actually be finished, then fired Hideo Kojima from their company, tried to take his name off of all of his games, didn't let him come to the Spike Awards to accept like an achievement award for the great game that he made last year, Metal Gear Solid 5, that was flawed but still a fucking amazing game. They let this guy, this masterful genius of making video games that I fucking love, and all right, fine, Jeff wants to suck Hideo, whatever. But like,
wow.
And then they're going to take like one of these moments that this guy who's like an auteur for video games, that like literally is I see it and it chokes me up and it makes me cry, and they're going to render it in the most beautiful video game engine I've ever seen, and they're going to use it fucking for pachinko? Are you kidding me? Make the game in that engine and sell it to me. I will buy it from you bastards. It's like you're holding my favorite children hostage. I will pay to see them. Horrible.
Oh, Jeff needs a hug, guys.
Divorcee father Konami. I will come to you and I will beg for the good version of Metal Gear Solid. And so it makes me very upset because it's so pretty. And
it is gorgeous.
It's
and there's like more cleavage the farther into the video you get.
Oh yeah, well she unzips her top so that you can see the scar where her she got her battlefield abortion, I guess, as
wow.
happened.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So this is really upsetting to me, and it shouldn't be because this is like the fourth time that Nintendo has done like Konami has done this. Like there was one where they had this one that looked like a new Castlevania game, and it was like, oh my god, what is this? And it's like, it's a pachinko game. There's one where it's like, oh, check this out. It's like a new super good looking high res version of Silent Hill 2. Oh, it's a pachinko machine. Just keep your pachinko machines, all right?
Just keep them. He's having none of them.
I'm not having any of them.
None of it.
So go to hell, Konami. I hate you so much. And
poor Jeff.
With that, wonderful restraint of I didn't tell anybody to die. I just said go to hell. You could say that's allowed. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we are going to answer questions and also talk really briefly about Overwatch. So,
okay.
Stay tuned.
More about Overwatch. That's not porn. Okay.
Yeah. And we will be back in just a moment. And we are back.
Woo woo! Did you miss us? Did you miss us?
Yes.
We missed you.
There was a nice little musical interlude, and now we're back. And hey, it's time for the questions. mail@rageselect.com is the email address. But before we do that, I don't really know how much I have to talk about, but I did want to briefly spend a little bit of time talking about Overwatch.
Okay. Because
we've been doing I've been doing some little mini reviews, and I think that Overwatch at this point is fairly self-explanatory. But if you're just like, I'm not into that whole thing, I'll break it down for everybody. So Overwatch is the new game by Blizzard, and the thing that everybody should know is that it is straight up a first-person arena shooter. It is multiplayer only, no story. I know all those great trailers that they're putting out. There is no story in the game. It's basically just a series of multiplayer matches with, I think it's got something like 8 to 10 maps or something like that, with a few different modes. There's one that's they're all objective-based modes, so it's like either capture the point, hold it, or take this truck and stand near it while you move it to the next thing.
Move the thing across the thing to the thing.
Yeah, you guys have probably heard all this stuff. The big thing that Overwatch is doing that other games aren't really doing is that they have just a metric shitload of characters to play. So instead of being like a Call of Duty, basic shoot people in the face shooter, or like Battlefield, where it's like a class-based thing. This is more of like a Team Fortress 2 class-based, except for the fact that like there's 3 times as many characters as Team Fortress 2, and they all play completely differently. And every one of them has a different, ultimate ability. They have different. Some are more melee focused. Some are tanks. They're divided into attack, defense, tanks, and support characters. And the game really encourages you to go out and pick a good mix of those different characters. Like the game will kind of carpet you if they'll be like, not enough healers, or bring a tank, or what are you doing?
You're fired. Go home and rethink your life.
Yeah. But outside of that, there's really, it's very bare bones. There's not much more to say outside of that. It's got
the 4th highest streamed game on Twitch right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was in the top 2 for a couple days, and now it's kind of gone down a little bit, but it's there.
I think it's stupidly fun. It's so much fun. It's got a crap load of character. It's just playing, and I feel like I've said this before, so I know I'm regurgitating a lot of the different things that I've already said about Overwatch, but one of the smartest things that Blizzard has done, and I feel like it's a thing that they do with all of their games, is that instead of making Overwatch into a who can get the most kills multiplayer game, it's all objective based. So you can go in and just spend the entire time moving your cart from one side of the map to the other, and that is as important as shooting fucking Hanzo in the face 12 times and not dying once. So even if you're not super skilled, I feel like it's a great introductory multiplayer shooter, because it's not as cutthroat as Battlefield or Call of Duty or, in a lot of cases, Team Fortress. It's actually, I feel like, really easy to get into. The only thing that's a little weird about it is that, okay, on the consoles, on the PS4 and the Xbox One, it is a full-on $60 for this game.
Right.
And for a game that is mostly focused on multiplayer, I'd love to be able to recommend it to people who don't play multiplayer, because I don't play multiplayer, but this year has been great. The Doom multiplayer has been great. Uncharted 4 multiplayer was great.
Ones.
Overwatch multiplayer is great.
People are enjoying The Division.
Yeah, I didn't all that much, but hey, whatever,
Right.
But honestly, if you're looking for a game, I know there are a lot of people out there, the same was true last year with Star Wars Battlefront, who feel like a $60 multiplayer-only game, a multiplayer-only game by default is not worth $60. That no matter how good it is, only having multiplayer is not worth a full-on $60. To those people, I could say that if you have a PC, the Overwatch Origins Edition, which is what you're getting on the console, is $60. The PC version of Overwatch is $40, and what you get for the Origins Edition is a couple of extra skins, basically, which is kind of garbage when you think about it. You're paying an extra $20 on the PS4 and the Xbox One for what is ostensibly just some cosmetic changes. It's pretty much the exact same game,
right?
But if you're at all into multiplayer, I think especially if you're into more casual multiplayer, if you're the sort of person who got Star Wars Battlefront and you're still playing it and you think that it's real fun, I think it's worth it. I think it's a good game. I mean, I think it's exceptionally well made. There's certain times where you get some bullshit where some dude shot you, and I don't know how the hell he saw me because I was behind a thing. There's some problems with the netcode that they're still working out. But I would almost say that if you're on the fence about it, give it 6 months, because they're supposed to be bringing in some new characters, and they're probably going to be bringing in some new maps. It's very possible that by the end of the year, depending on what their I think I'm not totally sure about this, but I think they said that they're going to be adding things to the game, and that they're not going to be charging people for these additional things that they're adding to the game. So I think it's really,
it will be worth it. Give it time.
Have you played it at all?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. It's real solid, though. I mean,
I'm still focusing on Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Do you have it?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I've been stalking the Twitch streams.
Here, you can have.
Yes.
There you go. I told you that when I was done with it.
It is now in my hands. Yes.
Uncharted 4. Take it, play it, love it.
The Geek Fuel box this month had a really great item from Uncharted 4. It was this beautiful little treasure chest that's this big, and inside it is the Nathan Drake ring. I'm currently wearing it right now.
Nice.
It's all engraved, and it comes on a cute little leather thong.
Oh, cool.
It's adorable. Get your Geek Fuel box. Oh, you can't. They're sold out. They sold out of the May box.
Son of a bitch.
I know. It was that popular. It was real cute. They
by the way,
postcards too.
If I can, what I'd like in return for letting you borrow that is I want to borrow the Nathan Drake collection when you get a chance.
Oh, of course.
Because I want to play Uncharted 2 again, because I love Uncharted 2 so much. Anyway,
the Yeti they just kill me.
Yeah.
Literally over and over and over and over again. But the spiders in the third one, I'm a fan of that. That's way better. I'll take spiders any day over weird Nazi zombies and Yeti any day.
you and I are diametrically opposed on a
That's fine.
mental and
Gives
emotional
balance.
level.
Gives balance.
Fucking spiders. Can't stand them. Can't stand them. Don't want them. Get them the hell away from me.
Yeah, so play 2, don't play 3.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
I will, because it's got more Claudia Black, and I'm all about that Claudia Black.
Oh,
so.
of course you are. So yeah, sharing is caring. Share games with your friends, folks.
Yep. I gave Matt Frank my Doom. You could have my Uncharted 4. You got to bring it back eventually.
I will. I mean, I'll be back.
Actually, there's one caveat. You have to beat Homefront: The Revolution before you can actually play Uncharted 4. That's the only.
Before?
I'm not-
Can I
no.
play it after?
I'm not a monster, so I
don't want to
wouldn't do
wait.
that.
I don't have that much time. E3's this month, bro. I don't have all that much time to stream.
Okay, fair enough.
Makes me sad. I haven't streamed it all this week. Ugh, I feel so bad about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to stream tomorrow.
Okay.
I have to. My Mayhemians are like beating Discord down right now. Like, where are you?
I think I feel well enough that I'm going to buy a 6-pack and lay on the couch tomorrow. So
That's awesome. You're welcome
Yeah.
to buy a 6-pack and come hang out at my house while
Yeah.
I play games.
yeah,
That's a thing.
just cough.
Yeah.
Give me a cough mic. It's like the
Cough
cough
mic is
button,
in.
so that you can just like switch over to Jeff, and it's just like
Yes. So what Jeff says here is he really likes the animation of this particular sequence.
I shouldn't fake cough because it makes me for realsies cough.
Don't do that. Have another Halls. You've been real good today.
I haven't finished my first one yet. I'm trying to. I'm
Just do it.
This is like when
Life
you
will
drink
feel
like
better.
half a soda and put the other half in the fridge.
Don't do it. Just eat it.
All right. So, all right, let's roll. Let's roll some questions. First question comes in from Scott. Scott says, "Hey Jeff and Jennifer, my question relates to cheating in games. After replaying San Andreas on my iPad, I was disappointed to see that I couldn't input any cheat codes like I could on my PS2. Whilst I still enjoyed the game, I did miss spawning jumbo jets, flying cars, and unlocking all the weapons to create mayhem on the streets of Los Santos. What is your opinion on cheat codes in gaming? Most games no longer have cheat codes, and the ones that do block achievements, so you are discouraged from using them. Can you think of a time that cheats have actually added to your enjoyment of the game? I've been following you since Spill Days. Thanks for all your great content. I'm a comedian from Scotland, so I find myself having loads of long car journeys with Rage Select in my ears. Thank you once again, Scott. Scott, this sounds very stereotypical. I'd like to hear your best haggis joke. Could you just send me your best haggis joke?
Wow.
It's still the greatest disappointment of my entire life. Where when I was in Scotland, I wussed out and never got myself a plate of haggis.
Failing at life.
So I don't know. Do you do cheat codes? Do you engage in cheat sheets?
I am a fan of beat the game once without the book, without the codes, without anything. But then afterwards, yeah, have fun with it. I mean, I don't know what life would be without DK mode and paintball mode in GoldenEye. Like, I don't know what life would be without a Game Shark. Like, I miss it. Bring it back.
I think that I never
God mode and Twisted Metal. I mean, come on.
I never do anymore. I never do. I'm more interested in breaking the game legit, which is why
Of course you are.
I love New Game Plus, where you get all the way to level 600 and then restart the game when you're just like, ha 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 ha, die before me, slimes. But yeah, I can honestly say that there was I still remember like the Doom cheat codes back in the day, but they kind of just break the game, and I don't know that I'm really, I don't know. You know what I like is a game like Saints Row 4, where it's almost like Saints Row 4 was designed as a game where what you do when you're playing the game is just turn on cheat codes one at a time, but the game is still tuned to the point where it's like, oh, I started out and I was driving around in a car. Now I'm literally flying with a lightsaber and force pushing people off the side of a giant building. But that's built into the game, and so it's fun.
Yeah, like Tony Hawk. What is it? Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 or 4? Is it 4? I think it's 4. Where you can have like blood mode, and then there's the disco mode, where every single element of the game takes on this weird, translucent, like holographic, colorized shit. Oh, it's the trippiest shit on the planet.
Have you ever played Uncharted with Donut Drake turned on?
No, what is that?
Okay, so in Uncharted, I mean, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know how it is in the remastered edition, but Uncharted is actually really cool because they unlock cheats based on the number of treasures that you pick up. Like when you beat the game.
I've beaten each one once, but I've not gotten back to play them again.
Yeah.
And I've seen that things have been unlocked, but I've not accessed them yet.
So Donut Drake is a big fat man Drake model.
Oh my God, yes.
That you could play through Uncharted with just this
I need
big,
that in my life.
tubby Drake.
That's
And
going to happen. Thanks. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. I'm going to have to go home and do that. My girlfriend's going to make me sleep on the couch.
Speaking of Uncharted bugs, let's see. I got to see if I can find this GIF. Uncharted 4, let's see.
I had the weirdest bug happen to me a few weeks back playing Uncharted 3. No, it was Uncharted 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was in one of the final temples, the one with the big clock gear mechanism thing, and it flew me all the way across the screen into a wall, and I bypassed an entire dungeon worth of stuff. It was weird.
So there's a bug in Uncharted 4 that people have learned on the PlayStation 4 how to use to make Drake invisible in the cutscenes. And there's this cutscene at the very beginning of Elena and Drake on the couch, like having like this,
PlayStation it up.
Yeah, having this like this lovely little like time, and by turning this on, it makes Elena look like a crazy person because she's just sitting here, like putting her arm around nothing and talking to nothing, and just
Elena.
like being all.
But Nate's talking to her,
and then she like. There's a part at the end where like he's tickling her, and then they start making out. And with this bug turned on, it's so good because it's
creepy.
Like, it's so creepy. It's like she has this imaginary Drake boyfriend that she's just making out with on the couch.
Oh.
It's so weird. I love it so much. It's like one of those things that I'm like.
That is so weird.
It's great. It's great. It's like Garfield without Garfield. Have you ever seen that?
Odie is better.
No, have you ever seen that comic where it's just like all they do is take Garfield comics and then remove Garfield and all of his dialogue, so it's just John talking to himself like a crazy person.
That's beautiful.
And reacting
it's like Calvin
to
and
nothing.
Hobbes. I dig it.
Oh, it's so good. All right, next up, this comes from JD. JD says, "Hey, Jeff and Jennifer, I recently decided to start collecting Nintendo 64 games as a hobby.
All right.
I've got a small collection going already, and it's been really fun hunting down games. My question for y'all is this: do you have you ever collected something as a hobby? I know a lot of people collect stamps, coins, trading cards, etc. Just curious if you ever had a special collection, something Dong Lord, something praise him. JD."
Heck yeah. I mean, how can you call yourself a nerd unless you don't have an obsessive hobby?
Yeah.
Really?
What do you collect then? What is it?
Books.
Uh-huh.
Dragonlance novels in particular.
Okay.
I just took another trip to... I have a gold mine in South Austin. The half-price books in South Austin that I go to, and I'm not going to tell you which one because then you'll come and you'll take all my books. Every time I walk in there, they have a new, at least 5 or 6 first edition Dragonlance Chronicle books.
Uh-huh.
I'm all the fuck about it. I probably have 25 of them now.
Wow.
At least, yeah. So Dragonlance Chronicles. Eventually, I will own every Dragonlance novel ever.
Okay.
That will happen.
Yeah, well, how
very
many
soon,
are there?
Probably. In the 30s, 40s, I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
There's lots
Okay.
of books, lots of them.
I could say that when I was a tween, I got really into collecting Marvel trading cards.
Oh, okay.
So it was like you buy these packs and they would have Marvel heroes. And so we had the big, my cousins and my sister and I, we all had these collections of them. And, you have the pages where we put the little cards in.
Yeah.
And there was always like one that was like super, super difficult to find. And I think that when I finally got that last card and finished my collection, that it cured me of collecting anything ever again in my entire life. Because I was like, ha-ha, I've done it!
And done.
I've wasted hours and hundreds of dollars to... Now I have them all, and I can look at them. And I can turn them around and read the back. Well, shit. No.
We're done here.
I would say video games, but I honestly don't... I just, they're sit on my shelf. I'll give you Uncharted 4. I don't care if you have that. I've been walking
You heard
around
it.
my
He
house.
said I could keep it. It's happening.
Being like, where the hell is my copy of X? Like yesterday I was trying to find a comic book that I know that I have to loan to Matt Frank, and I just couldn't find it. And I was looking through all my comic books, and I was like, I don't even read any of these anymore. I mean, I used to, but yeah.
I'm currently going on a shtick of purchasing every... I eventually want to have every comic that has Barbara Gordon in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a new obsession.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a great character. I dig her real hard.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I don't even collect furniture or, anything. I think that,
That's true. We're sitting on the floor right now.
There have been times where it's like I've had things consoles, maybe. I mean, I do have.
Oh, that's this thing.
Got a little bit of collection of consoles, but that's kind of job related. Nah, no.
Nope. Not doing
Don't
it.
care.
Books
Don't care.
for me. Books. That's the thing.
There you go. All right, this next one comes in from Brad. Brad
Hey,
says, hello, Jeff and Jennifer. Jeff, you mentioned getting back into The Witcher 3. Like you, I had to drop it after it came out because of the flood of games coming out at that point, as well as other life factors. Also, like you, I wasn't sure how to get back into the game because I didn't want to load up my 5-hour save file and get used to the controls again, but I also didn't want to start over. So which method did you use to get back into the game? Did you jump back into your old save? And if so, how did you find getting reacclimatized to it? Or if you started a new game, did you just press through it or had enough time passed that replaying the beginning wasn't a waste? Thanks for the hours of entertainment, especially Max Payne 2 playthrough you and John have been doing for patrons. Thanks, Brad. So, Brad, I just decided to start over from the beginning, but I allowed myself to basically start skipping dialogue if I remembered what the quest line was.
Fair.
So it's like I would start playing the game, and then I'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember the fucking innkeeper's daughter ran off with a witch or something, and then just square
Absolutely
to go through
fair.
it.
That's what I would do.
And I've gotten a little bit further, but I can also feel myself starting to slow down. I was actually going to ask, because it seems like because you play a lot of Square games, I have a problem where in Square games a lot of times I will stop like halfway through the game because I start to get itchy about playing the same game for so long. You don't do that? You just
No.
power it? Have you ever had a game where you like stopped and then you had to, it was a certain amount of time where you weren't entirely clear about the storyline, so when you went back to it, you were like, do I start it over? Do I just come back in and do I read a wiki? Like, what do I do? You ever had that experience?
I mean, as much as I love Final Fantasy VII, there'll be days when, like this latest playthrough, I had to start it from the beginning because popping down in the middle of disc 2, you're like, does this happen? Does this not happen? And
Right.
But my background is in literature, English literature, so I enjoy story. So I will play a game every time from the beginning all the way through because I enjoy the story gamut, the beginning to end shtick.
Right.
So I don't have that problem of playing. There's a comfort in playing a game all the way through. I mean, unless it's a game that you start and you get a certain way and you just hate it and you don't want to play it and you throw it down in disgust and walk away. But I'm so choosy with my games. Like, I don't play through every game. I only play through the ones that really, like, it's like going to the library when I was a kid. I would only read the books that really spoke to me. My English teachers hated me because I never read the books that they made us read because I felt like they were all boring and overused. And I hate, like, don't even get me started about how much I hated The Catcher in the Rye. Like, don't even. So,
I won't.
So I would get away. I was that kid that would get away with not reading the story, but picking up enough context clues from other people and like skimming through 5 minutes of it in the room that I could still put together a better argument than anybody else who read the book.
Yeah.
So I'm that kid. I love the story elements. So I pick a game based on the description on the back of it or the video or whatnot and the story that it's going to tell me.
Right.
So I don't really have that problem. I don't have
Fair
game
enough.
ADD. I play it from beginning to end, and I love every minute of it, and then I want more.
I mean, I used to be like that, and then I started, took an arrow to the knee. No, then I
What did
started.
I tell you about those arrows to the knee? Just don't do it.
I started forcing myself to play through stuff and trying to play everything that came out, and I've kind of dropped back from that a little bit. But even before that, though, I remember Final Fantasy VII. I played like all the way up to the end, and I think that what happened with that was my friend and I were playing it like we were just playing at the same time, and we wanted to beat all of the weapons at the end, but we didn't want to like grind in order to get powerful enough to beat the weapons. So then we were just like, well, fuck you, video game, and put it down. And then I remember that my friend was like, started playing a game on her save for the beginning. She's like, I'm going to beat this game before you guys do. And I was like, we're at the end of the game. We can beat Sephiroth whenever we want to. And she's like, no, you can't. And I'm like,
okay, I'm going to prove you wrong now.
Franklin, get in here. We got to, all right, let's load this up. Let's finish this. Yeah, so.
Ego has been invoked. Time.
Though, The Witcher 3, man, it's so talky. It's so wordy.
I like wordy. I like wordy games.
Play yourself The Witcher 3 because
I want to. It's on my list. It was at the top of my list. There were just other games I wanted to play more.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that I want a good balance between, like, so I was talking about Uncharted 4. I feel like Uncharted 4 has a lot more platforming and story than it has action, and I like the action in Uncharted more than I find the platforming to be okay, but I feel like it wears out its welcome for me a little bit faster than it maybe does for other people, because it's just like, I know where I'm going, right? Here's where the white lines are. You're going to just jump.
Yeah,
slide,
and
jump,
it
jump,
started
jump,
to take that turn between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
3 had a lot more platforming than it did action. 1 and 2 were a lot more action than platforming,
right,
with elements of platforming, and then 3 was like basically all platforming.
Yeah. I feel like The Witcher 3 starts to do a little bit of that, where it's like you can get yourself into a situation where you're going to end up going through dialogue trees for a good 35 minutes without any hacking people, and I'm just like, I would like to stab somebody, please, and thank you.
I get that. I think I have the patience built into me from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Like the campaign I'm playing right now, we're working through Rage of Demons, and most of the sessions are all hack and slash, just go into town on it.
Yeah.
But this last session, we had 3 people from our group of 8 gone, and it was almost entirely a session full of storytelling, getting backstory, doing research, talking to people. We got to see Elminster, and it was awesome. And I enjoyed it.
It's funny because I almost have the opposite proclivities when it comes to D&D, because in D&D there becomes a time when you have really complicated combat where combat starts to become just a drag. It's like,
really?
Well, I don't know. Like, there's a part of me where, I'm going to move here, I'm going to roll, I'm going to attack, and then I'm going to wait for everybody else to finish their turn, right? Whereas in a video game, when you're doing combat, it's all you, right? A single player game, it's like you're playing. You don't ever have to stop and wait for somebody else to finish their turn,
right? Because it's in real time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Whereas the social parts of D&D I find are really interesting because they're much more puzzles and they're much more directly involving with you as a human being than this arbitrary set of dice and board and grids and stuff like that. So for me, yeah, that's almost the reverse. But anyway, Witcher 3, I've kind of tried to stick with it, but I feel like I can already feel that I'm starting to lose steam, and I'm like, I kind of want to just play more Overwatch or something else. All right, this next one comes in from Whiskey Wolf, who says, hello, Rage
name.
Lords. Hope that the Texas heat hasn't set in just yet and that you're enjoying the short work week. I just wanted to confirm that we'll be doing a live stream and chat for the E3 press events like we've done in the past few years. All the best, Whiskey Wolf.
Good question.
I'm going to try Whiskey Wolf. Last year, Grant set all that up for me, and he said that the pages are still there. Is when we do E3 on Rage Select, generally speaking, the front carousel of Rage Select is replaced with a video player that I put the Twitch streams for all the different stuff in, and then the sidebar is a chat where I can just sit there. And so I'm not going to E3, groovy. But I can just sit there and watch the channel, chat with people, and be like, it's almost like I like to think of it like I'm the
commentating, the
guard at in the community, in the communal room in Orange Is the New Black, where I'm like, do you guys want me to change it? Should I change it to the Nintendo channel? Do you want to watch the Nintendo channel for a little while? Because I'm the one who has the ability to.
That's adorable.
Everybody refresh the page. We're going to Nintendo channel. So I think that we're gonna.
I dig that.
Yeah, we're gonna try. Plus, I mean, God only knows when E3 happens. I'm just sitting here all day, like staring at my computer. And we'll do podcasts, and we'll see. God only knows there isn't anything out that week. Like they always, I think there's like one.
Yeah, because it's all going to be at E3.
Yeah, there's one weird thing.
I'm so excited! I can't wait. I'm just gonna. My little nerdy brain is gonna explode and overload. And
it's
I'm
great.
Gonna sleep the whole week, and I'm never gonna want to come home. They're just gonna find me curled up under one of the Alienware tables, just like clutching a computer.
What is it? Elder Scrolls Dark Brotherhood comes out that week, and Dead by Daylight, which I don't even know what that is.
Sad human beings.
I think everybody should get a chance to go to E3 because it's a trip. When I went the first time, it was pretty crazy because I would literally get up in the morning and I would go to E3 and I wouldn't eat or drink anything the entire day because I didn't want to have to use the horrible bathrooms at the LA Convention Center.
Oh, that's a thing.
Plus,
to know.
Probably not as bad in the ladies' room, but when you're dealing with 6,000 sweaty nerds in a con atmosphere, they don't tend to have the best bathroom etiquette. Plus, you're dealing with horrible pulled pork sandwiches at the Staples Center type of thing. And then when I would get out of it, I would the first time that I went in 2011, I would walk back to my hotel room. and I would stop at like a Quiznos and get like the biggest Quiznos sandwich, and then just go and just scarf the entire thing and like chug a bunch of water, podcast for an hour, and then just pass out because you're on. I mean, like it's the only time in my life where my excitement has overridden the fact that my feet are killing me. Like
Nice.
I stood up all day, wouldn't drink or eat anything, and wouldn't even have any coffee because I was like, I don't want to have to go to the bathroom later. I just want to go.
Just doing it. Just doing it.
So everybody should get to go to E3. That's what I think.
I can't wait.
All right, next up, this is from Thomas. Thomas says, Master Chief and Company. I think you might have the wrong Thomas. I don't know. Anyway, I hope this finds you all well. Praise to His Royal Prince Albert. First off, I'm really enjoying the playthrough of Max Payne 2 on Patreon. It's bloody brilliant how each week you leave one another with next to no health and zero painkillers. Yeah, we're kind of dicks like that. My question, he's got two questions. One, with all the talk of spoilers about much treasured properties, i.e. Game of Thrones, and your newfound rage of old whilst playing multiplayer games, can you recall the best verbal beatdown you have ever given?
Oh.
Two, you're on death row and you get to plan your last day. What do? How would you want to die on death row if you had a choice? What the world? Thomas, you got interesting questions. Love y'all, fellow Patreon subscriber, Thomas. So, okay, let's say best verbal beatdown you've ever given?
Jesus.
I don't revel that much in the pain and suffering of others, so I don't know that I could really think. I think that I'd probably have to go back to my friend and I playing StarCraft, like when it first came out, and he did a lot of shit talking towards me, and then I beat him in 10 minutes when we played each other, and I was like, "That's right."
Gosh, I feel so bad. These are great questions. And then I get these questions. You need to start emailing me these questions before I come.
Yeah,
so that
probably.
I can have time to think about them because I want to come up with good answers. And I know I have stories.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I'm on the spot like this, nothing comes to my brain. Why?
I think I got trained a long time ago that, like, in spite of what you guys see on Rage Select, I tend to be relatively decent at video games. And back in the old days, I found out that, like, if I beat my friends in Street Fighter perfect every single round and then gloated about it as on top of that they would just stop playing me. Or, like, one time I organized a Quake tournament at the job that I had, and I kicked all the developers' asses. And then, like, within 20 minutes, they were just like, yeah, well, I don't really want to play this. I don't want to play this game anymore. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I don't usually gloat all that much.
I'm that way, too.
Yeah.
I love playing the games so much that I'm like, even if I win, I'm going to be quiet about it because I want them to keep playing the games with me. I don't want them to stop
You'd be a
wanting
good
to play
winner,
the games
right?
with me.
Yeah.
Seriously. So, but when I do the Monday night Weirdling stream, Retro Game Fest, it's every Monday from 10 to 12 p.m., Brandon, who is the manager at Outlaw Games and Toys and Austin Books and Comics, he and I always play games on Monday nights. And my favorite game is Dr. Mario, and I'm really good at it. And he is not that good at it. It's not that he's not good at it, but I'm just really good at it.
Yeah.
It's the only game on Super Nintendo actually Nintendo,
right,
that I'm really, really good at. So I it's funny when we're both sober, I stay quiet and I try not to rib him.
Uh-huh.
But he gets a little sassy when he's had some whiskey in him, and he actually smack talks a little bit. And
Okay.
I love it because then I can smack talk. I have the freedom to smack talk because we're very comfortable with each other.
right.
So I really very much enjoy the rounds where we play Dr. Mario together. And then the opposite end of that, he's amazing at Burger Time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's amazing at most games. So me being able to beat him at a game consistently is like a godsend. Like, that's my only game is Dr. Mario. That's it.
Yeah.
But Brandon is really great at everything, and he particularly usually whips my ass in Burger Time. But there was this one day that I don't know what happened. It was two sessions ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was really exhausted. We started late. I think I'd left my capture card at home and had to go back to my house, drive half an hour south to pick up my capture card and bring it back to his house to do the stream.
Good Lord.
Oh my God. It was everything had gone wrong that day. And then we played Burger Time, and I beat him every round we played. We played 5 rounds, and I beat him every round, which is a glory in and of itself. And then I smashed my best record by like 10,000 points. It was amazing. And so I think we archived that stream. So if you go to the Weirdlings Twitch stream, you can find the highlight of me kicking his ass and talking mad smack about it.
Okay.
I think that's probably my favorite.
No, that reminds me of the one time in my life when this has happened. When I was but a simple teenager, when I was like 17 or 18 or somewhere around there, 18, 19, somewhere around there, somehow me and all of my weirdo punk rock friends decided that there was only one way to settle who was the greatest of all, and that was Super Puzzle Fighter. So there was some vicious Super Puzzle Fighter. There was some LSD Super Puzzle Fighter. There was some super drunk Super Puzzle Fighter.
Goodness. Like intentional, like we're going to get drunk and play this to see who's better at it, or you happen to be doing those things while gaming?
Well, I think that there were enough of us that knew how to play it at least fairly effectively.
Okay.
That what would happen was everybody would get drunk, and then there would be like this is okay. So this also takes place in an era before there was the internet. So you get into this thing about like, no, dude, that's not a word. It'd be like, yes, it is. And it'd be like, fucking Puzzle Fighter, man, Puzzle Fighter. Whoever wins gets to be right.
Nice.
It kind of became like a weird, like this weird thing. I don't know, where it was just. I remember at one point I moved away, or I went away for a little while. When I came back, my friends were like, "Oh, I've been practicing Puzzle Fighter. I can take you down now." Or it's like. I swear to God, I can think of about 4 of my old friends that if you put us in a room, if you just put all 4 of us in a room and you walked up and you were like, so, who here is the best at Super Puzzle Fighter? Everybody would raise their hand, look at everybody else, and be like, the fuck you are. I beat you so many times. No, you don't even remember last time when the TV was in the garage. You don't remember that time? I remember that time. I whooped your ass. It would be like that.
That's great. I need to play this game with you now.
Oh, Super Puzzle Fighter is the best. There's an HD version they put out on the PlayStation 3.
Yes, we'll do that next time.
How do you spend your last day when you're on death row? If you have a choice, that's the other question. I don't know. Quiet contemplation. He says cocaine and naked ladies. That could work too. Jump out of an airplane.
Cheesecake.
Just all the cheesecakes.
Yeah.
Just 1 million cheesecakes.
Yes.
Okay. Just
and my girlfriend.
Eat bacon.
Of course.
Eat bacon with the significant other.
Eat cheesecake off of my. Anyway.
All right.
Yes.
Cool. I don't know, Thomas. It's too deep. All right.
Way too deep. That's what she said.
Carl writes in to say, hello, Jeff and Jennifer. So I have been playing Overwatch on the PS4 for a few days now, and even when I lose a match, I still walk away with an okay experience. However, I keep getting a small nagging question in the back of my mind after each match. I wonder if I could link a keyboard and mouse to my PS4. Am I crazy for thinking it? Should I do it? There is, after all, support on the PS4 for keyboard mouse now. Thoughts? Carl.
Fuck yeah, bro, do it.
Yeah, the only thing, Carl, is that if you're sitting on the, if you want to make your PS4 into a PC and sit at a desk while you play it, sure.
That's a thing.
I mean, if you put a keyboard and a mouse on your lap on the couch, that kind of defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it? So, but yeah, give it a shot.
And I know gamers that they play PlayStation and or Xbox at a computer desk.
Mm.
I mean, it happens.
I mean, I could probably do it with my setup right here.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the need to, I guess it'd be an interesting experiment. Actually,
it really depends on what response system works best for you.
Carl, I might try this out later tonight when I'm rendering. Just hook a keyboard mouse up to my PS4 and show all those little Overwatch.
Oh, sad. On the inside of the Uncharted 4 box is a flyer for No Man's Sky coming out June 21st.
There you go.
Sad,
there you go.
Sad times.
All right, this next one comes in from Richard, who says, hello, Jeff and Jennifer.
Hello.
Love the site and all the fun times it's given. My question is, do you think Nintendo should make a full Pokemon game with online play for the new NX system? With the popularity of gaming championships, it would be a perfect fit for Nintendo to have its own Dota-type championship. And how many people would buy an NX just for this game? Also, other than Metroid, what other games could be system sellers for Nintendo from their back catalog that you would like to see? Religious praising and so on. A very happy fan, Richard.
I mean, being somebody who coordinates gaming conventions and tournaments and things at such, I dig it.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd give me something else to bring people to my convention and have them play nerdy games together.
I
dig
have
it. Do it.
Been wondering why Nintendo hasn't done this for a long, long time. Like just making a fully 3D, walking around in the overworld, getting in Pokemon fights, make the graphics a little bit better.
Heck yeah.
You could have sold a shitload of Wii U's if you'd have made.
I'd play it. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, you could have put Pokemon, what the last one's like, Pearl or whatever it was, on the Wii U and just up-res the graphics and made it look a little bit better. And you probably could have sold more Wii U consoles, but they have this. Nintendo's such an old company. They have a very old gaming mentality, where they're like, they put Pokemon out on the Game Boy, and I think they like instantly doubled the amount of Game Boys that they were sold when they put Pokemon out because it was such a big thing.
Yep.
So I feel like now they only see Pokemon as a mobile thing that's going to help drive 3DS and Game Boy sales.
There was a Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
those were things for N64.
But they've never. I mean, they just put out, Bandai Namco, I believe. I played it with Cargill. Pokken Tournament. It's like a Tekken game with Pokemon. But the thing is that they've never taken that thing that everybody loves so much, that instant, that guaranteed system seller, and moved it over to a full-on console. And I feel like it's just like a real, like you could make it have online play where you could challenge your friends over the internet. You could.
I think that'd be hella fun.
I'd too.
Dig it. I'd get back. I might consider getting back into Pokemon for that.
Yeah.
Do it.
And then as
Nintendo,
far as,
do it.
Other than Metroid, what other, like, I guess franchises is what he's saying, do you think could be system seller for Nintendo if they went in their back catalog and pulled out some of their older properties? Let's see.
That's a really good question.
I don't think that Pikmin would work.
Give me Dr. Mario.
Yeah, they had a Dr. Mario. No, they had Dr. Luigi for the
That's right.
the Wii U. Metroid is the one for me. They've kind of, so I'm looking at a listing here of Nintendo franchises, and they've really tried to exploit most of these. Animal Crossing, there's one of those. Well, I guess there has been an Animal Crossing for the Wii U. There was one for the Wii and the 3DS, but there hasn't been one for the Wii U. Brain Age, Chibi Robo, nah. Donkey Kong, there was a Donkey Kong Country for the Wii U. F-Zero, Fire Emblem. They could probably put out a good Fire Emblem for the console that would be a good system driver. Kirby, Legend of Zelda, Legend of Starfy, Mario Kart, Mario Party, Metroid.
Mario Party Online would be pretty fun.
I think they can already do that. Pikmin, Pilot Wings, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Punch-Out, Puzzle League.
Oh, Punch-Out.
Star Fox, Smash Brothers. See, most of these they already have. Oh, that's a good one that they haven't had for a while.
Which one?
The Advance Wars series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was on the GBA, and I think the last one was on the DS. There was one on the GameCube, Battalion Wars, but the last one was in 2008. That's a fairly niche property, though. I don't think that they would actually. I don't think they could actually do anything. Nintendo really needs to. They really need to get their. They really need to get their properties up to current gen standards, and they need to start. I don't know what to do with Nintendo. I just want them to start competing with Nintendo or with Sony and Microsoft again.
Just tell them to start doing it right.
Instead of being...
That's all that needs to happen is just tell them to start doing it right.
Hey, Nintendo, this is Jeff. I know you've been avoiding my phone calls, but let me tell you what to do. All right, this next one comes in from Nate. Nate says, hello, Jeff and Jennifer. I've been trying to plow through my backlog of games. However, every time I come across a first-person shooter, I either find myself actively avoiding it or playing it just to knock it off the list. I've come to the conclusion that I am burned out on FPSs. I was
Welcome
wondering,
to my existence.
Since you play as many games as you do, have you found yourself getting burned out on any particular genre of game?
Games
Nate.
with too much storyline, apparently, for you.
Well, I'll tell you, RPGs are difficult for me these days just because they're a big time investment, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
NIS brings Bravely Second came out. I haven't even bought it. I didn't even beat the last Fire Emblem game because I like a good 10-hour video game. Where you can 2 5-hour marathon sittings and you're done. Right, full story, beginning, middle, end. No problem. Good to go.
I like the longer games.
Yeah?
I do. I get attached to them.
Yeah. I could say I'm starting to become a little bit upset with some of the MOBA crossover stuff that we're seeing. But generally speaking, I'm trying to think if there's a genre of game outside of because it's not JRPGs, it's just very long RPGs. I feel like there's a real economy of storytelling. It's one of the things I was talking about with Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4, I mean, even Uncharted 3, Last of Us was like, what, 12 to 14 hours long?
Sounds about right.
I thought The Last of Us would probably have worked better if it had been 10 hours long. That additional 4 hours, I don't know if that really added a lot to it.
You said that same thing about Far Cry Primal, didn't you?
Yes.
It got to a certain point and you're just like, yep.
I mean, I know that there's a lot of people out there. It's just, I feel to me that there's a difference between padding your game out to make sure that it's long enough that the people who want a longer game won't object to it, and actually having enough content to fill that stuff. Like with Uncharted 4, I was wondering with some of those platforming sequences, like if this just hadn't have been there, if this had been a 2-second cutscene about Nate going from here to there with a wipe transition, instead of making me jump and then jump and then jump and then jump and then slide and then jump and then jump and then jump and then slide and then jump and then, you know, would that have really taken anything away from the game? And does that being there add something to the game? Because you know that no matter what, you're going to get from point A to point B. It's just you've got to do it. So I don't know. Yeah, longer games is really what it's come down to for me. Is I'm really these days into economy of storytelling. Is get your point across without, you know, a million years worth of dialogue to do it.
I'm again on the opposite side of the spectrum from you. I'm like, give me the epic stories.
Yeah.
I loved the Lord of the Rings. I love the Robert Jordan Wheel of Time series. I'm sure I would love reading the actual Game of Thrones books.
Yeah.
Give me long series that go on forever and ever and ever because I want to keep reading books as long as they're telling a good story. Done.
Yeah. I like that's the thing is that I like my books to go on and on because I get into a story and I always have this horrifying moment when I hit the end of whatever book that I'm reading where I'm like,
it's over.
What the fuck am I going to read now?
Oh,
Fortunately,
yeah.
I found another pulp sci-fi writer that has like a 14-book series that I'm on like book 3 of. So I'm like, good. There we go. That'll keep me going for a little while. But yeah, for me, yeah, just I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I just look at and kind of roll my eyes about. I did see that there was a trailer for a new game by the people that made Myst that kind of made me roll my eyes.
That's right.
Because I'm not a huge fan of the puzzle genre because I don't get enough out of solving a puzzle. Specifically a like, here is the puzzle for you to solve, like The Witness. Like I'm all about Portal, where it's like a puzzle built into the environment, or like Zelda, where it's like, all right, I got to get the hook shot, then I got to pull this down, then I got to push this thing over here and just throw a Deku Nut at this thing.
But like the Sherlock Holmes games where you have these puzzles within puzzles.
Where it just pulls up. It's why I never played the Professor Layton series, where it's just like, here's a bunch of matchsticks. And I'm like, nope. Nope. All right, got a couple more questions here, and then we're going to be done. This next to the last one comes in from Tristan, who says, Dear Rage Select, hello again. A simple question. When will we get more Rage Select merch? Oh, yes, these last two questions are just about Rage Select. So, sorry, Jennifer. These don't have any real specific. When will we get some more Rage Select merch? Shirts are nice and all, but how about some mugs or some puppet plushies? Something you can put on a desk. Thanks for answering my question. Looking forward to seeing how many critics and reviewers, he puts critics in quotes, fail to do their homework over the Warcraft movie. If they say it's based on the MMO rather than the RTS that preceded it 10 years earlier, then they failed. Or if they go full millennial and compare it to Game of Thrones, it will make for a fun drinking game to be sure. Tristan, you're salty today. May you find a great sale on well-fitting jorts, Tristan. I have got to. I've been wearing cargo shorts all summer. I need to get my jorts back out.
You do. I keep telling you.
Yep. As far as merch goes, I don't know. I'm honestly like not against it, but I just don't have as much free time. Like I've been looking for somebody who wants to design and or wrangle artists to make Rage Select merch and then take a cut of it and let us have the rest, because it's a complicated process to like put together a shirt, write the copy, get a blog together, blah, 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 blah. And I generally don't have the time to do that in my spare time. So also, you know, finding artists, dealing with artists, you know, finding people who are willing to create original designs, coming up with the original designs, like, you know, it's a hard thing, like what exactly to put on a shirt, what, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So
your puppets, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really use them that much anymore, though. That's the other thing.
People still love them.
Need to use my puppets. Anyway, so I don't know. I can't tell you, Tristan. Maybe, maybe not. And that kind of leads into this last question, which I'm sorry that if this is going to be a little bit of a bummer. Diego writes in and says, "Hello. In the past couple of dojos, you made reference to the Rage Select having no money. Should we be concerned about the state of the website? Will there be a fundraiser anytime soon? Sincerely, your loyal patron, Diego." Yes, it is. Right now, we've had people that are just stopped being patrons of Rage Select, and it's kind of come down to the point where I don't usually talk about this stuff because I feel like I'm running an entertainment business, and that, like, I don't want to put this stuff on people, right? You came here for a good time. You didn't come here to hear me talk about stuff. But the patron donations have kind of gotten to the point where I'm probably going to have to get a job and do Rage Select part-time in the very near future, because it's just, I don't know whether it's people don't think that it's funny, or they just wanted the puppets more, or I don't know what the thing is, but we've just had people that have been canceling their pledges and donations to the point where I'm making about as much as I did at my entry-level job when I was like 18, 17. So, and
is it the Chad?
What's that?
Is it the Chad?
What's the Chad?
No. Oh, that's a Charlie's Angels reference.
Oh,
never mind.
Damn it.
Drew Barrymore, come on.
So yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I could definitely have a fundraiser. We also got our asses whooped with taxes. Basically, all of my money went into taxes this year.
That's life.
So I don't know. We could have a fundraiser, but that's a short-time solution. Like, if you have a fundraiser and then people still continue to drop their Patreon donations, then that doesn't really do anything, right? Because you get a one-time influx of cash that can help cover, taxes and expenses and stuff, but you're still not making enough. So I don't know. We'll see, Diego. I thought I would lay that out. Like I said, I usually keep it to myself, but now we need something good, a cheerful note to end on. Like, what do you got, Jennifer? What's the happiest thing that you've seen this week? I've been watching Fargo, so I don't really have anything fun to say. It was a little weird when Key and Peele show up on Fargo. They didn't really work as well. I saw Keanu. That was pretty cool. The tiny kitty.
I watched. Yeah, I've been trying to get my girlfriend to go see that. Oh, I watched Friends and Lovers with Kate Beckinsale.
Okay.
Based on the Jane Austen novella Lady Susan. Hilarious.
Doesn't sound like it has nearly enough ninjas for a Jeff watch.
No ninjas whatsoever. No action. It's all beautiful verbiage and hilarious backstabbery and verbal backstabbery, not physical backstabbery.
Okay.
It was quite funny. I guess a good thing, it's of film, not in a film yet. I booked a SAG project. It's a web series that's about a programmer in Austin who loves Twitch and is a great tier 1 gamer and decides to enter a MMO contest for like $180,000 with a couple of her coworkers, and it's the hilarious experience of her.
Do you get put on the game grid? Does it shoot you with the laser and then like this, and then it's like
no, sadly, no, none of that.
The MCP doesn't put them on the game grid.
No.
Okay.
But it's like kind of like the Guild, where you've got like the strong female character who leads this team, and it's this sassy kind of commentary between her and these other dudes that she works with about what kind of team they want to have and how they want to go about it, and really wanting like Twitch sponsorships and all sorts of things. And like one of the first scenes is great. She comes into the kitchen in the morning and pours her coffee and puts milk in it, and then goes to pour herself a bowl of cereal and realizes she's put all the milk into the coffee. So she pours the coffee into the cereal and eats it, and is like, yeah, doable, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So I booked the lead in that. I get to play Gwen, and it's called DTG, Down to Game, and it's got some great lines in it, some really great scenes.
When can people see it? Where can people see it?
So we are filming it the next 2 weekends. Post will be the next few weeks after that, and they will be shipping it around to some companies like Blizzard and whatnot. So as soon as that is done and up, I will let you guys know. There's already IMDb credits on it. It's listed as in pre-production right now. So you can check out my IMDb page and see it. And I will be letting you guys know when it's up soon. But it's going to be really hilarious. It's a comedy. It's great.
Cool.
I'm really excited about it. It's a SAG project too, which is great.
Okay.
Yay.
All right.
That's happy. That's happy.
Yeah, no, that's great. That is absolutely wonderful news. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Bye, guys.
Yep. Jennifer, tell people specifically outside of this particular project where they can find you on the interwebs.
So you can find me as Mayhem's Muse pretty much anywhere. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, Twitch, And it's either just Mayhem's Muse, 2 words, 1 word, or Mayhems_Muse. Facebook.com/Jennifer Lynn Larson, Twitch.tv/Mayhems_Muse, Twitter @Mayhems_Muse, all the places. And then you can find me on IMDb now, Jennifer Lynn Larson.
I feel like this is whenever I have Matt on anymore, and we kind of went through this rigmarole of all the different social channels, and now he's just like, just Google my name, you'll find it. You know how to find stuff on the internet.
And on all of my shit, I link to all my other stuff, so it's like you find one and you'll find them all. They're there somewhere. Like Twitch in particular, I have every single social media platform listed on my Twitch account. So yeah, go there.
And if you want to hear more of me, well, you're already there.
Because Rage Select.
Yeah, like, subscribe. Leave an iTunes review. I hear that's a thing that people do. We got nominated for a podcast award again.
I heard about that.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah, last year, this year we're not going up against, like, last year I think that, Giant Bomb and Rooster Teeth were in there, and I don't think they're in there this year or whatever.
Thank goodness, no worries.
So, hey, go once a day and vote for us over at the Podcast Awards. Grant is way better about telling people to do that than I am because
do it, please.
I don't like to toot my own horn. So yeah, all right.
Toot the horn. Rage Select is awesome.
I'm good. I've done it. Give me the rest of the cough drops. Give me all the rest of the cough drops.
All right.
I'm just gonna melt them all down and do a line of cough drops.
Oh goodness, I'm not going to facilitate that. I'm going to leave them on the desk and slowly and carefully walk away.
I think that's for the best.
I agree.
I think that's
okay.
For the best.